Hey y'all, it's AT2. I just wanted to let you know they're starting now. They're putting the sister back on the stand. So that's what's going on right now. What's up, everybody? Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Love y'all. I'm going to be in the back.
Okay. And so you were responsible for, or had some responsibility for his business affairs, right?
I actually coordinated with other people, but I didn't have full responsibility.
Right. But in terms of the information that you would receive, you would receive information that was relevant to Mr. Depp's business affairs and personal affairs, right?
At times, yes.
And you care about Mr. Depp's well-being, right?
Yes.
He's your brother.
Yes.
You love him, right? It was important to you that you, in your role as both his brother and as his manager, be kept informed of his well-being, right?
Yes.
And if something was wrong, you'd want to know about that, right?
Yes.
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that...
For those of you just tuning in, this is the
drugs
cross-examination. They're continuing from yesterday.
No.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp romanticized drug culture?
No.
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp didn't take accountability for his actions?
I didn't have reason to believe that, no.
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp lacked patience for getting his needs met?
I didn't have reason to believe that, no.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I'm asking if she had...
Overruled, I'll allow it. That's fine.
Let me ask that again. Ms. Dombrowski, did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
Overruled for this question. We'll see if the follow-up. Okay.
I'm sorry?
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
I never had reason to believe that.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger?
Okay.
They're objecting. That's why I went quiet, y'all, just to let you know. What's up, Shell? What's up, Kuda Brown? What's up, Kim? What's up, everybody? What's up, Shayna? What's up? What's up? It went silent because it was an objection. That's why they went silent. It's a sidebar. I am still here. I am doing commentary. I am in the background. Thank y'all for coming. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't.
Someone other than Amber that your brother had fundamental issues with anger.
I didn't have reason to believe.
And did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that your brother didn't grasp the responsibility that he had in his children's lives?
I did not have reason to believe.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 268, please? Ms. Dombrowski, is this an email from Dr. David Kipper to you on August 18th, 2014?
Objection, present.
It's not being offered yet, so I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
I don't have it.
Let me know if your team
Can you
heard
see
or
the document
team
on your
deaf.
screen?
You might have to make it bigger. It's much small.
I don't have any.
Oh, do you?
I'm
Can you
sorry.
see it there, ma'am?
No.
It's not showing up on her screen.
Just bear with us 1 minute. Thank you.
Do I need to do something?
not coming up.
Thank you for coming, Chelsea girl. I see you.
Do you have a physical copy that she could look at?
Not that's not marked up. Let me, can you see if you can grab one?
Oh, wait, she's got it.
Oh, okay.
Turn it off and on. See?
That's the trick.
That's the judge rule.
Thank you. To take as much time as you need to read it, Ms. Dombrowski, but my question is this an email from Dr. David Kipper to you on August 18th, 2014?
Yes, it's got my name on there. Yes, it's from him.
And this is an email that you would have received on or about that date, August 18th, 2014, to the best of your knowledge?
It was sent on that date, yes.
And it's about Dr. Kipper's treatment of your brother, correct?
I'm actually reading it.
Okay, take your time. Thank you.
Fair use. This is fair use commentary, educational purposes. We are watching Depp versus Heard, the defamation case. Remember, this is taking place in Virginia. This is Johnny Depp's sister on the stand right now.
All right. Is there, I'm sorry, is there more to the,
There's another page which we can go to, but my question is just this, and I think we established this. This is an email that you received from Dr. Kipper, correct?
yes,
Your Honor, permission to publish the second paragraph on page 1,
Did they show the
into
email,
the-
y'all?
and then the remainder of that paragraph on page 2 with everything redacted, else redacted.
You're asking to enter it into evidence.
Yes, we'd like to enter it into evidence with those redactions.
Your Honor, two layers. Sure, sir.
Here's-
May we approach?
Sure.
And a correction, this is actually day 2. The first day they were picking jury, so that don't count. This is actually day 2. Oh, hold on. Y'all know I like to beg all the time. If you like to hit up the Cash App, Vim. All right, I'll shut up. Hopefully they come back, y'all. Do you guys know if they're calling any other witnesses today? I couldn't find anything, so please let me know if y'all know anything.
Ms. Dombrowski, if you can take a look at the first page of that email, please. In the second paragraph. Well, first of all, who was Dr. Kipper?
Dr. Kipper was the doctor that was helping my brother, helping my brother get help from the pain medication addiction that he had.
He was helping him with his drug addiction.
The pain medication.
And your brother was addicted to pain pills.
He had been taking them for a long time, yes.
Right. And you were instrumental in hiring Dr. Kipper to help your brother try to deal with that, right?
Yes.
And so Dr. Kipper, in his role as someone treating your brother, tried to keep you informed of what was going on with that treatment, right?
Yes.
And it was important to you as both his brother, his sister and his manager that you be kept informed of that, right?
It was important as his sister.
And well, and his issues with drugs were having an impact on his career as well, too, right?
No.
And you knew that they were having an impact on his relationship with Amber, right?
She has never said her brother was on drugs.
She's
by the
given
way.
plenty of testimony about.
He's trying to bait her.
You knew that the drugs were having impact on his relationship with Amber, right?
I knew that Amber claimed certain things.
But you didn't believe that they were?
I didn't necessarily believe it, no.
Okay. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Isn't it true that on the bottom paragraph on page 1 that Dr. Kipper informed you that your brother was uncomfortable and pessimistic that he will ever be able to stop doing drugs? I'm not asking for this.
I'll allow this question, but that's the only question on that point. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Isn't it true that Dr. Kipper informed you in August of 2014 that your brother was uncomfortable and is pessimistic that he will ever be able to stop doing drugs?
He does write this in this email, but this email is an update. I believe, if I'm looking at the dates, and I don't remember all dates, but I know that period and what's written in the email. I think this was during the time that they were, where he was getting help from Dr. Kipper.
Right, but that's what he informed you of in your role as his manager and his sister about the status of Mr. Depp's belief that he would be able to stop doing drugs, right?
Objection, hearsay.
I'll allow that question.
I think he was informing me of the conversations, yes.
And he also informed you that your brother didn't take accountability for his behaviors, correct?
Stay strong. Stay strong.
He does say in here that, yes, he wrote that he has no accountability for his behaviors in this time.
And Heather, if you go to the top of page 2, please. In that first and second line, he also told you that your brother has fundamental issues with anger, right?
Your Honor, objection, hearsay. No exception applies.
All right,
It's the same exception that applied to the other ones. This is what he informed her.
we need to move on, though. We can.
Heather, you can take that down. So you just testified, Ms. Dombrowski, that you understood from Amber that drugs and alcohol were impacting their relationship, but that you didn't necessarily believe that, right?
Right,
And you didn't necessarily share those concerns, right?
right.
Did you have an occasion to speak with Amber after a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014?
Objection, hearsay.
I just asked if she spoke with her. I'm not asking what the content is.
Spoke. I'll overrule the objection at this time.
I don't recall specific time speaking with Amber like that.
Did you become aware of an incident on a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Foundation objection. If you,
She's testified that she,
I'll sustain the objection. It's foundation if you can lay a foundation.
if something happened in your brother's life that was notable, you wanted to know about it. You testified to that, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
Yes, sir.
It's a foundation question. She testified that she had insight into his daily life.
I don't
Well,
see
of
it as
course she would
foundation.
want to
She's
know
still
if
sustaining
something's
the
going on with her
objection.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were kept apprised of the goings on in Johnny's life, correct?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah, and you testified yesterday you saw him just about every day, correct?
What I testified to yesterday, saw him every day, was when he was with the family of Vanessa.
And you still saw him, or were in touch with him fairly frequently as his business manager and as his sister when he was with Amber, correct?
Less frequent,
Okay, but still with some frequency, right?
yes.
And if an event had happened that was potentially harmful to your brother, you would want to know about that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
All right, I'll sustain asked and answered. Next question.
you made an effort to make yourself available to Miss Heard to talk to you about issues she was having with your brother, correct?
I'm excuse me, I made an effort to talk to her anytime I felt she needed to speak.
Somebody's trying to call us.
Is that my phone?
It's kind of a
Oh,
pleasant
this is
ringtone.
the
I didn't answer it, so.
Wow, it was the judge phone.
Ms. Dombrowski, in addition to just Amber believing it, you believed that your brother needed help, didn't you?
Objection made.
Big.
You believed that your brother needed help with drugs and alcohol, didn't you?
Overruled the objection. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I believed on the one medication I was concerned about.
And you wanted your brother to get better from his addictions, right?
I wanted to address the medication that he was on.
And you understood that Amber wanted the same thing, wanted him to get better for both him and for her, correct?
Objection calls for speculation as to what Amber wanted.
I'll sustain as to what Amber wanted.
Now, do you recall meeting with Ms. Heard on May 25th, 2014?
I don't recall.
Let's pull up Exhibit 234, please.
You said that was 234?
234, yes.
Thank you.
The non-redacted version. Yeah. Ms. Dombrowski, this is a multi-page exhibit that we can, we're not going to ask you about all the pages, but is this a text message chain between Amber and you on May 25th, 2014?
Yes,
And those are your texts in gray on the left, right?
yes,
And Ms. Heard's texts in blue on the right?
yes.
Your Honor, we have a version of this exhibit with Ms. Heard's text redacted and the personal identifiers redacted that I'd like to ask the witness about and publish to the jury. I'm happy.
Objection hearsay, Your Honor.
First, you want to admit into evidence before you publish it to the jury.
Correct,
So let's-
right. So I'm just previewing that. Would you like me to go through the unredacted version with the witness first?
No.
Or
Well, if it's just her text, how is that probative if it's just her text?
because it's her text about what two things. One, it's her text about what she wanted for her brother. We'll get to those on page 2.
Your Honor, she still has the same hearsay about it.
I'm allowed to ask her about her own words and what her feelings sort
You
of
can
brother.
ask her about it, but it's not coming into evidence.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay.
Ms. Dombrowski, did you reach out to Ms. Heard on May 25th, 2014,
Yes,
asking her if she wanted to talk?
yes.
Why did you do that?
I
Did you do that because you had been made aware of an issue about your brother's behavior on a flight earlier that day, or the day before?
I don't recall why I did that.
You don't recall why you did that?
No,
Or you have no awareness or memory of a flight earlier that day or the day before?
I don't recall all flights at all times. I don't have any specific memory of anything.
If you can turn to page 2, Heather. If you can look at your third text.
He's trying
down,
to
Your Honor,
create something out of nothing.
Ms. Dombrowski,
I know what he's doing.
you say to him, or to Ms. Hurd, you say to Ms. Hurd, I love him so much, but he needs help, and I don't have all the information to help alone. Do you see that?
Objection, Your Honor, this is all hearsay.
I'll allow that question. That's fine.
I do see that.
And what did you mean when you said he needs help?
He need to run away from Amber
I
Heard.
don't
That's what
recall
she
the
meant.
Actual timing of it, but I wanted to help him with that medication that he was on. That I know. And I know that I wanted to be able to be helpful in life because they were arguing all the time.
And I believe you testified earlier that you didn't actually have concerns about your brother's dependence on drugs, right?
No, I said that I did have about the medication.
Just the pain pills.
It was the pain pills.
Nothing else?
Yeah.
I didn't have concern.
Medication, not
So
drugs.
when you said
Good
he
answer.
needs help, that's what you were referring to, is that you believe that your brother needed help with pills.
Objection, Your Honor, this is an asked and answered.
May I approach, Your Honor?
All right.
What y'all think so far? Y'all think the sister doing good, or is she failing her brother right now? I think she is doing awesome right now. What's up, Casey? Thank you for coming. And thank you for everybody being in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If it's your first time here, hopefully it ain't your last. Ooh, Shady says she fumbling. Ooh. You think she lying? Well, if she lying, she protecting her brother.
Heather, can you please pull up the pages ending in 934? Start with that, please. Actually, let's go to 936.
Just for the record, this is still in Exhibit 234. It's just stamped page 936. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Dombrowski, do you see the message that you sent to Amber 3 down where you said he is going to see the doctor in the morning with 3 exclamation points?
Yes.
Tell me what you remember about that. Were you referring to, when you said he, you were referring to your brother, right?
Yes.
And by doctor, you meant an addiction doctor? Is that right?
I believe I would have meant Dr. Kipper.
Okay. And what was, you'd agree that it's fairly rare to get an appointment for a doctor the next day, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll allow it. That's fine.
I don't know that it's rare to get an appointment the next day.
Well, Dr. Kipper wasn't an emergency room doctor, right?
Yes, that was Amber Heard.
No.
So what was so urgent about your brother's need to see a doctor that he was going to see Dr. Kipper the next morning when you texted this at 7:35 p.m.?
I don't know that it was urgent. I think I was happy that he was going to see the doctor.
And you were happy he was going to see the doctor because you thought he'd finally realized the problem that his drug addiction was having on himself and others, correct? That's why you were happy, right?
I was happy he was going to see the doctor because I was concerned about the pain medication he was on.
And you were concerned about what that pain medication did to your brother, right?
Yes,
You were concerned about the effect that that had on his life, right?
I was concerned about him.
And you were concerned about the effect that that drug addiction had on other relationships in his life as well, correct?
Your Honor, ask and answer.
I'm going through,
That's fine, I'll allow it. That's-
you can answer.
I didn't see anything that was happening necessarily in life to be concerned about others, me. It was him I was concerned about.
So you didn't see, your testimony today is that you didn't see any effect that your brother's drug problem was having on anyone else other than him.
My concern was him. I wasn't focused on anything beyond that.
Right. You weren't concerned about the effect that it could be having on anyone else. Is that your testimony?
Again, my concern was him.
She didn't care about Amber. Stop asking her.
Can you pull up page 937, please? And when you misheard the text at the top of the page at 9:20 p.m. on May 25th, 2014, and you said, "I just meant I will help in getting him help," what did that mean?
It's help with Dr. Kipper, I believe.
You were referring to getting your brother help for his drug addictions, correct?
I was referring to getting him help with the medication that he was on.
And if you go to page 938, please. When you told Amber at the bottom of that page at 10:26 p.m., I think you need to tell him you were scared and you can't deal. What did you mean by that? I think you need to tell him you were scared and you can't deal. What did you mean by that? Asking her what she meant with one of her statements. It's no different from the statement I just asked her about.
I'm just not sure what the prior inconsistent statement would be for this, which was,
Well, that she's testified that all of Amber's concerns were overblown.
okay.
Fair use, fair use. This is fair use commentary, educational purposes.
Drug abuse. You were concerned for your brother and your brother only. Is that right?
I was concerned for my brother, yes.
And only your brother. Is that right?
My brother was my focus.
Now, you, as in your capacity as his personal manager, you were often apprised of your brother's performance on movie sets, right? Did you have occasion to communicate with studios, for example, about movies that your brother was shooting?
Yes,
And studio executives could feel free to contact you about your brother's work?
yes, they mostly contacted the agent.
Okay. And who was the agent at the time? Was that Tracy
Tracy.
Jacobs? And that's your brother, Mr. Depp, fired Miss Jacobs in or around 2017. Is that right?
I don't recall when,
How long was Miss Jacobs his agent?
20-something years.
And he fired Miss Jacobs at some point, right?
Yes.
After his divorce from Amber?
I don't recall exactly when he fired her.
Do you recall whether it was before or after he divorced Amber?
I don't recall. Sorry.
But in any event, you had frequent communications with Miss Jacobs about your brother's work, correct?
Excuse me.
And you, in the course, in your capacity as his manager, it came to your attention that he was late to movie sets, correct? You testified that you had frequent contact with Ms. Jacobs, his agent, right?
Yes,
And that contact included when he was shooting movies?
yes,
And that contact included communications relating to his conduct on set? Laying the foundation.
Well, it sounds like your foundation is going to be based on hearsay, which is what we're going to be getting to.
Well,
If you can lay a foundation
Yeah.
without it being based on hearsay.
did you have personal knowledge of your brother being late to a set? Movie shoots?
would that be if I was physically there? Is that what you're asking? Or,
Ooh.
Your Honor, no, first, I'd ask you to instruct Mr. Stu not
It's
to
like when you at
shake his
a
head.
interview and they ask you, "Are you
That's
punctual?"
inappropriate.
I'm not shaking.
Okay.
Well, he was.
All right, well, I'll keep a lookout. for that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Dombrowski, your brother told you himself that he was late to movie shoots, didn't he?
Objection, hearsay.
Party admission.
I'll allow that.
I don't think he came to me and said I'm late to movie shoots, no.
You learned from your brother that he was late to movie shoots, correct?
Objection, asked and answered.
I don't think he would have come to me to talk
I'll
about it,
allow
no.
it.
You learned, so you never had any communications with your brother about issues that he had being on time to movie sets? Is that your testimony?
No, what I'm saying is I worked with him for years. You know, there was never really a continuous topic of whether he was late to a movie set, him and I having a conversation.
She said
He
she didn't
told
have
you
that
he had been late to
conversation.
movie sets, correct?
Objection, asked and answered.
I'll sustain the objection. Next
Can
question.
Isn't
you pull
that
up
the same
348,
question?
please?
348.
If you can you blow it up so you just see the second email down, Heather? And that second email down is an email from you to Tracy Jacobs on February 27th, 2015, right?
Objection, hearsay.
I'll allow that question. We'll see where we go.
The second, all the way down in here?
The second one down from the top. Sent at 12:50.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that's from me to Tracy.
Okay. Now, in the second sentence of that email, you write, he told me 1 to 1.5 hours, but not 2. Yes, he was 2.5 hours late one day and 7 hours recently. Do you see that?
I do see that.
And when you said he told me, you're referring to your brother, Johnny Depp, admitting to you that he was late to movie sets, right?
I don't know that I'm referring to him now.
In any event, it was a problem. As personal manager, you knew that it was a problem for the studios if he showed up late to set, right?
I knew that on this particular film, there were times when he was late to set.
You did know on this particular
On
film,
this particular film,
and this particular film is Pirates 5, correct?
yes,
Pirates of the Caribbean 5. And he was filming that in Australia, right?
yes,
And this email was sent on February 27th, 2015, right?
yes,
So you knew that as he was filming Pirates of the Caribbean 5 in 2015, early 2015, that he had problems being late to the set, right?
I wouldn't call it problems being late to set, but he was occasionally late to set.
Late enough that Disney executives called you to discuss that, right?
Objection, hearsay.
All right. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And you knew that this wasn't the only movie that he had been late to set for, correct?
Objection, lack of foundation.
she's testified about her close involvement in his personal affairs when he was shooting movies.
If you can lay a foundation, not based on hearsay.
Have you talked to your brother when he was filming each of the movies that he filmed, right?
Yes,
And with respect to Pirates 5, he told you that he had been late to the set, right?
no, I don't recall him telling me he was late to set.
Okay, so despite the fact that you said he told me, you don't recall whether that was him or not.
I don't know I don't know that the he in that refers to him.
You were also, I believe you testified yesterday that you were closely involved in the financial aspects of your brother's life, right?
I was closely involved in speaking with the representatives, but I wasn't really closely involved in, his financial world. That wasn't my thing.
And your brother's, the income that he made from movies or other commercial opportunities that he had, that funded both him and it flowed, or it came in through his companies, right? And then the money that your brother made came in through his companies, correct?
I don't really understand your question.
Well, you're the president of one of those companies, Infinitum Nile, right?
Yes,
So if your brother signs a movie contract, the money, is it paid directly to him or does it come in through a company that he's owns?
Infinitum Nile is completely a separate entity, so how he gets paid is, that's the business managers.
At this point, he's trying to
Okay.
throw out anything.
You were involved with discussions of opportunities that he had to shoot movies, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
And you were in close contact with others on Mr. Depp's team about opportunities that arose, right?
Yes,
Okay, including Tracy Jacobs,
yes,
his agent,
yes,
including you. In fact, you would be in contact with studios directly as well. It's from time to time, right?
yes.
And Mr. Jacobs,
Make sure to like, share, subscribe.
Well-
Like, share, subscribe.
strike that. In your capacity as his personal manager, you became aware of financial distress that your brother was in, correct? Because you were familiar with his financial affairs, right?
I was somewhat familiar. That was the other representative's area.
Did you have occasion to become familiar with whether he was undergoing financial distress such that he needed to get movies, a certain number of movies a year?
Tracy had a certain number of movies per year that she wanted him to do.
And a certain number of movies a year, to your understanding, the certain number of movies a year that your brother had to do was necessary to stave off financial distress, correct?
The certain number of movies per year, Tracy would push for a certain number of movies per year because it was beneficial to her.
That's the only reason she pushed for a certain number of
Oh,
movies a year?
That's the main reason Tracy would push for a certain number of movies per year. Yes.
Not because it was beneficial to Mr. Depp,
If it was beneficial to Mr. Depp, then it was going to be beneficial to Tracy.
but just because it was beneficial to Tracy doesn't mean it wasn't beneficial to Mr. Depp or his companies, correct?
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Now, at some point, you became aware when he was filming Pirates 5 in Australia, you became aware of an injury that he suffered to his finger, right?
Yes.
And you were involved in trying to cover up how it happened, correct?
Objection, lack of foundation.
I'll allow the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
You were involved in helping to cover up how the finger injury happened, right?
I don't understand cover up.
You were involved in making sure that people on Mr. Depp's team didn't say how he hurt his hand, correct?
Uh-oh.
I'll allow it if she can answer.
You can answer.
We certainly didn't want any press to know about it. So that's, to keep it from that.
And because you didn't want any press to know about his finger injury, you told Mr. Depp's personal assistant to make sure that say that he wasn't sure how Mr. Depp hurt his hand, correct? You instructed him to say that.
If it was someone that I would be concerned that the word would get out to the press, I would have done that.
So it was okay to you to tell people to lie to protect your brother, right?
It wasn't necessarily a lie. I didn't know how he hurt his finger myself at the time, because I'm pretty sure I know the time frame you're talking about is when it first happened.
And you have no personal knowledge to this day of how he hurt his finger, correct? Because you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 210 redacted, please? Your Honor, this is the exhibit we discussed yesterday. If the court and Mr. Chu agrees with the redactions, I'd just like to publish it to the jury and admit it into evidence.
I don't think it's nothing wrong with her not telling, wanting to tell
That's what you
people
did
why
this
her
morning,
brother
correct?
finger was chopped
No,
off.
that's different.
Yeah, I think that was 214.
That was 214. I'm sorry. I got it backwards. This is 210.
And I believe that it's
follows.
just one page. Or it's two pages, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's these 2 pages that we talked about yesterday.
Right. Reserving your objections. Are the redactions correct?
The redactions are correct. We reserve our redactions.
Okay, that's fine. I will enter 214 into evidence over objections.
Permission to publish, Your
All
Honor?
right. Yes, sir.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this with me. I appreciate it.
Can you blow that up, please? So, Ms. Dombrowski, we discussed this a little bit yesterday. This is the text exchange between you and Ms. Hurd on February 3rd, 2014, where Ms. Hurd says JD is on a bender, and your response is, "Where are the kids?" Correct?
Yes.
And just scroll down, please. Let's go to the next page, please. Scroll down to the bottom, please. And then you text Amber, "Worry about everything." Is that right?
I wrote the words "worry about everything." It was myself. I was speaking about myself.
And you tell her, "I don't love any of it." Correct?
Right.
And
All right. Sustained. We did go through this yesterday, but go ahead.
and 2 days later is when you sent your brother the text messages that said, "Stop booze, stop coke, stop pills." Correct?
I'm not looking at it. I don't recall the timing of it.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right. Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Dombrowski.
Good morning.
During Mr. Rottenborn's examination yesterday and again this morning, he spent a lot of time talking to you about your brother's alleged drug and alcohol abuse. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You're not denying that Mr. Depp ever used alcohol or drugs, are you?
Objection leading.
It's redirect, Your Honor.
That's still leading. I'll sustain as leading if you want to rephrase your question.
You also testified several times in response to Mr. Rottenborn's questions that Ms. Hurd tends to say things in a more dramatic manner. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
Why did you say that?
I've had my own interaction one-on-one with Ms. Heard, so I know a bit about her personality. She would present information to me that was not necessarily information that was supported by everybody else that was around. And I've spent a lot of years working with my brother. We have a close team. We've, it's many years of trusted people helping, make sure that
She's saying
everything
Amber
in
making
life,
up stories.
it works out and goes smoothly. But all those people where I would have a daily contact, whether it's about scheduling or just how the day's going for all the years, those people never said the same thing.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
I think it was responsive to the question.
Well, I'll sustain the last sentence.
Yeah,
Just
Your Honor,
the last sentence of it, that's all.
understood, Your
Okay.
Honor.
As
I think it goes to state of mind rather than the
Right.
truth.
I just did the last sentence. I'll sustain just the last sentence.
Thank you,
Strike the
Ryan.
last sentence, okay?
And do you recall your testimony yesterday when you stated that after the phenomenal success of Pirates One, one of the changes to Mr. Depp's, your brother's personal life, was that there were a lot more people around him after that? Do you recall
Yes.
that?
Yes.
When Johnny and Miss Heard became involved in a relationship several years later, were there still a lot of people around them, your brother, on a regular basis?
Yes.
Who were those people?
He had assistants, he had security, he had, property managers, people that helped at the house. He had quite a few people that were around all the time.
How often did you communicate with those people?
I communicated daily, not necessarily with each one of those people, but I communicated pretty much daily with people within the world, the circle.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share,
Did
subscribe.
any of those people ever raise the same concerns that Miss Heard did?
Objection, hearsay.
All right.
Again, it goes to state of mind.
I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay. Next question.
What, if any, concerns were expressed about Johnny's behavior when using alcohol?
Objection, hearsay.
All right.
Again, it goes to state of mind.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right. Is this witness subject to recall?
I do not believe so, Your Honor.
She's subject to recall? No.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dombrowski, you're free to go, or you can stay in the courtroom. It's up to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I would go home. I would need a drink
All right,
after
your
that.
next witness. Good morning, ma'am. Isaac Baruch. All right. We'll get him. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. While we're waiting for him, can you spell his last name for the court reporter for me?
Yes, Baruch.
Thank you.
I didn't hear the name, y'all. I know it's Birch, though. But Birch who? Yo, I should have been outside selling Cooter Brown wine coolers outside. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case on the penalty of law?
So this is Big Daddy Birch right here. Big Daddy Birch is about to testify.
Hey, there's a thing here, transcript
You
thing.
can just
It's,
keep it there, sir. Have a seat.
okay.
Put the microphone close to you, please. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Would you state your name for the record, please?
My name's Isaac Baruch. ISAACBARUCH.
That's fancy.
Where do you
Baruch.
currently live?
I live in Los Angeles.
Do you know the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp?
Yes.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I know him since teenagers. We met in Florida.
And could you tell the jury a little bit about your experience meeting Mr. Depp when you were teenagers in Florida?
Yeah, we were both playing in bands. We had mutual friends, and that we met in probably 1980. And yeah, we hit it off. We got along with each other, and yeah, that's
How often did you see Mr. Depp when you were teenagers together in Florida?
a few times a month. I'd say it could be more, a little more or whatever, because we'd see each other at parties and clubs, nightclubs where the bands played.
No,
Yeah.
don't say nightclubs.
And for
That's where
how
they do
long were you both,
drugs.
living in Florida and seeing each other somewhat regularly?
Well, we met in like 1980, so and then we both moved away. He moved to California. I moved to New York. What was that, 80? From 80 to 83. That was
Yeah,
that,
he
like, 4
sound like he
years.
from New York.
What were your impressions of Mr. Depp while you were both living in Florida at the same time?
Oh, he's a sweet kid.
Um,
A sweet guy.
Sir, wait, there's an objection.
Oh.
Thank you.
What his impressions were back then.
Or what's the relevance?
Just establishing.
He
the
may be a
background and
bad
the
witness. He gonna be
I'll stay in
telling
the
everything.
Mr. Baruch, did there come a time when Mr. Depp moved away from Florida?
Yeah.
And where did he move to, if you know?
Like I said before, he moved to California.
At some point in time, did you also move to California?
Yeah.
And did you reconnect with Mr. Depp when you got there?
Yeah.
Around what time was that?
Sometime during the first year, and then afterwards, after the first year, more and stuff.
About what year would you say that was?
Oh, I moved to
Jersey is a little bit more
in,
nasally, Shell.
September of 85.
And did you know if Mr. Depp was working when you arrived in California in 1985?
Well, I knew he was pursuing acting at that time. Yeah, he's looking for work because he's
Yes,
pursuing acting.
Long Island, Staten Island.
How
Yeah.
often did you see Mr. Depp when you first moved to California?
Well, like I said, the first year, a few times. Afterwards, I had a friend whose girlfriend lived in the same building as Johnny, and so then hanging out over there, I ended up seeing Johnny more often. And plus, my friend who I'm talking about, whose girlfriend lived in the same building, he was playing in a band, and they needed another guitar player, and Johnny ended up joining the band. So we were hanging out a lot more often.
What were you doing when you moved out to California?
I was pursuing music also, working retail jobs and trying
Oh
to
yeah.
get a band.
He was living the life.
Yeah.
The bad
Did there come a
witness.
time when you began working for Mr. Depp?
Oh yeah.
When was that?
Oh, that's later on. That's like in 1993.
What were you doing for Mr. Depp when you started working for him in 1993?
Well, he owned a place called the Viper Room, and which is a music venue, nightclub, bar, and bands play. And it was already open for 6 months. And the girl who was working, the person who was working as office manager didn't want to work there anymore. So the guy who was running the place for Johnny, who was a friend named Sal Jenko, another Florida friend from back in 1980, when we all first meet, he calls me up and he says, "Hey, Isaac, do you want to work this job?"
I don't think it's offered for the
I don't
truth
think
of the
it's relevant
matter. is-
either. I mean, can we
That's
get-
fine. I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
At some point in time, did you stop working at the Viper Room for Mr. Depp?
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
Well, I worked from 93 to 98. In 98, I moved away.
Did you return to LA again at some point?
Yes, I did.
When was that?
I moved back December of 2002.
What did you do for work when you returned to LA?
Well, for 2 weeks, I worked at an art gallery, and then I went back to the Viper Room on New Year's Eve.
How long were you working at the Viper Room at that point in time?
It was another year, and then the place changed hands.
Were you working on anything else while you were working at the Viper Room in that time frame?
Yeah, I was work sidewise. I was teaching myself art.
And what steps were you taking to teach yourself art at that time?
Books, learning how to draw, and
He sound like he ain't got no
paint,
job.
and taking community college classes.
It's just
At
random
some
ass
point in time, did
jobs.
you begin pursuing art on a full-time scale?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I was working at the Viper Room, taking classes, and then at one point, the club changed hands completely after a year, 2004. And I was given a choice of either keep working for these new owners, or Johnny out of his pocket was going to give a severance pay to whoever didn't want to work there anymore. So I took the severance pay, and then it
Someone
helped
give me an
continue
interview with
on
Isaac.
to finish community classes, private classes, and then be able to transfer to Cal State University.
And did you get a degree from Cal State University?
Yes, I did.
What degree was that?
BFA,
What year?
2010.
After you received your BFA, did you continue to pursue art full-time?
Yeah.
Did Mr. Depp ever express an interest in your art?
Yeah.
When was the first time that happened?
Well, first time we saw a painting in 2008. And then the next time was 2012. I had made a painting and sent it to my best friend, in an email. And he forwarded it to Johnny, and Johnny emailed back saying, hey, when Isaac wants to sell that, whenever he wants to sell that, to go ahead and get in touch with me because I want to buy it.
The
Did
word
Mr.
art
Depp
sound
ever
like
buy
a
that
code
painting?
word.
No,
Why not?
because when I brought over paintings, I had moved back to California, and I brought over a bunch of paintings for him to look at and see if he wants any, to buy any. And he looked at me and says, I got an idea. How about I be a patron? And we put together an art show, make a body of work, and then I'll throw a party and invite people, and I'll sell the stuff for you, and you could keep all the money. So he didn't buy any paintings there. Instead, he offered me a complete patronship.
So what did you understand he meant by becoming your patron?
Well, it was going to financially make it possible for me to just paint every day and put together a body of work, so that way then it could be sold.
How did he plan to do that?
Objection to what he planned on doing.
What did you understand he planned to do
Well, I
to
could-
make that possible for you?
I could tell you that what it included was that the next day I ended up moving into I moved into a art studio penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building. It was, listen, I got a place for you to go ahead and live and work and put this body.
I need
of
friends like
art
that.
together, and I'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about anything.
And what was the place where you were going to live that Mr. Depp offered you?
The Eastern Columbia building.
Did you take him up on that offer to live at the Eastern Columbia building?
Yeah, of course.
And how did that make you feel?
I started crying. One day One day you're in your mother's garage selling paintings for $100, $200, $300 on eBay. Next
They
thing
said
you
I'm in
know,
my mama
it's
basement.
an
I
art
feel them on
show,
that
and, like,
one.
you don't have to worry about Diddley Squat. Of course, of course. I was flipping out.
When did you move into the Eastern Columbia building?
The next day after we met and we talked, the next day, I get a phone call from a guy named Kevin Murphy, who is working for Johnny, and I go to, and he says, hey, meet me at this address. And I go and I meet him, and here I am in front of this building. This is a beautiful building. This is like, you know, it's whatever, 13 floors, but it's like from the 1930s, some Art Deco, beautiful building. And I'm looking, I go, all
Does
right.
Isaac
this is
have a
unreal.
website, y'all?
What? There's going to be, you know, all right, it's going to be one of these apartments or whatever, one of these places here. I go in with Kevin Murphy. He takes me all the way up to the roof. We go to, into penthouse 2, and I walk in and I'm like crying, going, it's beautiful. This is like a mansion situation to me.
Mr. Baruch, how long did you end up living at the Eastern Columbia building?
3 years and 7 months.
Your Honor, I'd like to show the witness plaintiff's exhibit 116.
All right, 116.
Am I looking at something?
You will in a second, sir.
Oh my God, y'all. I just found his Instagram. This ain't art. I'm going to put his Instagram in the chat, y'all.
Paper copy. I'm just going to pull up a paper copy for a moment. We can see it, but he can't. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shell, for the
We'll
article.
just use a paper copy. We'll get this resolved at lunchtime.
So Amber Heard had
Mr.
actually
Baruch,
changed the
do you
locks on
recognize
that
the document,
penthouse,
that
y'all.
you're looking at that's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 116?
Yeah.
What is it?
This is the floor plan of the roof. All the penthouses up on the roof that.
Oh, y'all found the IG,
And
huh?
that's the building where you lived starting in March 2013, is that right?
I moved in the first week of March 2013. Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move into evidence, plaintiff's exhibit 116, please.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, 116 in evidence. You can publish to the jury.
Is it, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I just want to be sure that.
Yeah, they can see it in the gallery, see it. We'll just have to work on
All
that
right,
screen.
thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Mr. Baruch, can you describe for the jury what is depicted here in exhibit 116?
Yeah, that so the right side of this graph is there's a pool there, there's another top of another apartment that actually starts on the floor below. It's a 2-story apartment. But there's a pool there, and there's a gym, workout room. And the left side, there's at the bottom, there's an X, and that's the elevator. And so you walk out of the elevator, you make a little left, and there's part of penthouse 5 right there, straight ahead. And then you keep walking straight, and then you make a left, a sharp left, and the actual penthouse 5 is straight ahead. And then you hang a right, and you start walking up that way. On your right is going to be penthouse 1. On your left is going to be penthouse 4. When you get to the end of that corridor, this is the door for penthouse 3. And if you hang a right, oh, look, there it is. It came up on the screen. And if you hang a right and you go down to the end, is the door to penthouse 2. That's the apartment that I lived in.
And who did you understand owned these penthouses?
Oh, Johnny owned them all.
Which one did you live in?
Penthouse 2.
Was anyone else living in the penthouses at the time that you moved in March 2013?
No, I was the first one to move in. I moved in the first week of March, and then a couple of weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, then Johnny and Amber moved in. And then after that, the next one to move in is Rocky, Raquel Pennington, Amber's friend. And then at some point, her sister moved in, Whitney. And also at some point, Rocky's boyfriend moved in with her in penthouse 1.
So I believe you just testified that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard moved in shortly after you moved in. Is that right?
Yes.
And which penthouse did they move into?
Penthouse 3.
And then you testified, I believe, that someone named Rocky Pennington moved in.
Yes.
Who was Rocky Pennington?
Amber Heard's friend from Texas, and I think they made, I don't know, I'm not sure if they told me that they moved out there together or something like that, but yeah, her friend.
And later you said that her boyfriend moved in with her. What was his name?
Josh Drew.
And which unit did they live in?
Penthouse 1.
And I believe you also testified that Whitney moved in. Who was Whitney?
Whitney Heard. She's married, so she's got a different last name. I'm not sure what it is. But Amber's sister, Whitney.
And which of the units did Ms. Heard's sister live in?
4.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about your relationships with Ms. Heard, Ms. Pennington, Mr. Drew, and Ms. Heard, sister?
Oh, yeah, I was friends with all of them. I loved them all. They all treated me with respect. It was great. You know, I'm an old-time friend of Johnny's, living there, and we were looking out for each other. We became great friends. I fell in love with all of them.
When you moved in to Penthouse 2, you were working on an art show with Mr. Depp, right?
Yeah, that's the entire reason that I'm there, is to work and put together this art show.
Did you have a time frame that you expected to be able to put on that art show?
At first, when we first powwowed this idea, when, you know, we talked about, all right, what do we do? You know, what's this show going to be? How many paintings is it going to be? And we came up with a number. Okay, so there's going to be a certain body of work. I'm not a known person. I'm just some schnuck painter. So there's, and if I was a famous painter, I could make 5 paintings, and the room will fill up. But so we decided, okay, like 25 pieces of work, large scale. And Johnny says, hey, how long you think this will take? I said, I've never done it before. I don't know, maybe a few months.
And were you able to complete the paintings in a few months?
No, it's after, it took me.
He ain't no
In
painter.
order to make 2 large scale paintings, it took me like almost 2 months. And I'm start freaking out going, I'm only got 2 paintings and all right, I got to do 25. I said a few months. So I ended up going to Johnny's place and saying, hey, look, dude, this is going to take a lot longer than a few months.
Like,
I don't-
share,
I could
subscribe,
only
like,
make 2
share, subscribe. Thank
paintings.
you, everybody, for
How did
coming.
Mr. Depp react?
He looks at me and he starts laughing and he says, Ike, don't worry. I do not care. I just want you to paint however long it takes. I want you to paint every day.
During the course of time that you were living at the Eastern Columbia building, did Mr. Depp ever give you any money?
Yeah.
How much did he give you?
Over a period of 4 years of the patronship, I ballpark it calculated probably around 100,000.
And how did you come up with that amount?
Well, from the first get-go, when I said, hey, look, I need dough, to buy stuff and to, to do this, I ended up getting an envelope the next day with $5,000 in it. And then I budgeted it and stretched it out and, and so every few months I'd get an envelope. It could have that I didn't know if it was going to be the same amount, but it ended up being the same amount, which was wow.
Damn,
So
and he gave him
basically
money?
around $5,000 every few months. So in a year, it's 20 grand. But then also there was a period, maybe a year or two, might have been that it was 5 times I had to ask for dough, or it was 4. And then on top of it, so right there, that's could be 80 grand or 90 grand. And then on top of that,
I want to be Johnny's friend.
I ended up getting a herniated disc. He sent me to the doctors to get an MRI and see the doctor, get an MRI. And
He had health benefits too? Did he get food stamps?
That he covered. So I throw that in there too. And I ended up coming up with the figure of 100 grand. Could be a little less, could be a little more.
What was your understanding of whether Mr. Depp intended to be paid back for that
Oh.
money that he provided to you?
There's no, that's not even the thought of being paid back. This is something that he wanted to see happen. This is something he invested in. He knew he was going to spend money to make it happen for me to survive and paint and create this thing that he wanted to see because he liked the art. And so there was no payback, and the whole thing was about him selling the art, so that way I keep all the money. He didn't expect anything. He was doing this as a friend, as he's done with many other friends.
I'll sustain the last
I'm
sentence.
going upstairs. The stream might cut out real quick, y'all.
Right, we've done that, but that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Baruch, did there come a time when you decided that you planned to pay Mr. Depp back?
Oh yeah, that for me, when he's told me he had money situation going on. For me, it was like this guy just changed. He's been making it possible for me to live and work and make product, and I'm by that expense, I'm part of the problem. It's like, how do I help him? How can I help him? I mean, he's sharing his sandwich with me, It's like how do I share that my sandwich with him? Give him that half to make something up. You don't not do anything, and said the only thing I got is paintings. So I stood up when he's telling me what he's telling me about his money situation, and for me, I said, hey, if these things ever sell, we got to split this 50-50, and I ain't taking no for an answer. Something I got to add. I got to put something into this. So for me, I looked at it like,
So he
he's
wasn't trying to
gotta-
work
he
for
has
free?
to get something back.
But he can't sell them paintings.
Mr.
Ain't nobody
Richard,
want to buy that
living
shit.
at the Eastern Columbia building, did you develop a relationship with the defendant in this case, Ms. Heard?
Yeah,
And did you get along with Ms. Heard?
I loved her. I fell in love with her just like Johnny fell in love with her. I fell in love with her. She's totally respectful, gracious to me. That she's got great teeth. That she treated me with complete respect. Anytime I walk into
This guy is funny.
humor-wise, total locker room humor, demented humor. Totally laughed at the jokes, made the jokes. Totally got along with her. Every time I walked into their place,
Amber
Isaac,
just
you want
looks
something to eat?
miserable.
Isaac, you want something to drink? Every time. There's only one time I remember that she didn't offer, because I walked in and she's in the kitchen at the counter and she's doing a beauty facial mask, and so she can't offer me. And I'm going, hey, is that something that can help me? And she looked at me and she goes, no. And I'm laughing, and then she laughed after because she didn't realize she was making a joke. So yeah, I loved her.
Mr. Baruch, did Ms. Heard ever visit you in your penthouse?
Yeah.
Do you recall the first time that she visited you there?
Yes.
When was that?
The first time is that it's in March when they moved in, and they were there for a couple of days, and I didn't even know. And Johnny had called me, says, "Hey, come over, meet my girl," and so I did. And then the next day, they came over to my place for the first time to see how I had set up the art studio, lights, and just what's my painting set up and stuff, and to look at other paintings. And they walked in, and I remember the first thing she said was, "I hope we didn't keep you up last night because of all the yelling." And I looked at her and I says, "No, these walls are like 3 feet thick. I don't hear diddly squat."
Ooh,
How
here
did
we
she
go.
seem when she said that to you?
Well, she's semi-joking and inquisitive, like, hey, to find out.
In your 3.5 years living at the Eastern Columbia building, did you have opportunities to observe Mr. Depp's and Ms. Heard's relationship?
Yeah.
Can you describe what you observed about their relationship?
They were always loving with each other. They treated each other like gold.
Hello to everybody just joining us. Appreciate
Kissing
y'all.
and what can I get you type of thing, just being kind with each other. Always loving, always a loving situation.
How often would you say you interacted with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard?
If they were there, because they're traveling, they're working and doing stuff. If they were there, I saw them maybe 2-3 times a week. Maybe there might be one time a week that I see them, that I go over to hang out, or see them, or they might come, or Johnny might come over to visit, or like that.
Since you've known them, did you ever see them get physically violent with each other?
Never.
Did you ever see them argue?
Yes.
How many times?
Probably like twice.
Can you describe the arguments that you witnessed?
The first argument that I remember was walking in. It was a telephone argument. Johnny's at the kitchen table and he's screaming about something, and on the other line, because it's on speaker, and he's talking with the phone at the phone. The other person is Amber, and that she's in New York, and he's at the kitchen table, and they're arguing, and he's going, "Who is it? Who is it?" And she's saying, "Oh, baby, come on, please don't. What are you doing, baby? Why are you being like this, baby?" And this went on for a little while, and I'm listening, and then he hangs up. She calls back again, And it's the same thing. Who is it? What's going on? Who is it? And she's saying, "Oh, come on, baby, don't be. What are you doing, baby?" And then hang up the phone again. The third time it happens, I'm saying there's no solution in this conversation. I grabbed the phone from him and I says, "Hey, Amber, this is Isaac. Listen, this conversation is now over." And I hung up the phone. And she didn't call back again. And he went to the couch and went to bed.
I believe you said you saw them argue twice. Was there another time that you saw them argue?
I ended up going over, and there's at the kitchen table.
I was a little
John,
confused by that
Amber,
story, by the way.
Is Rocky and Josh. And they're and I'm going, "What are you guys doing?" And they're hanging out, and they're trying to plot to figure out a way how to get rid of Whitney to not live there anymore. And I felt bad. I like Whitney. Says, oh, well, that's going to be a drag. And what are you plotting? How do you figure out? Hey, lend your sister some dough and let her move out. But, they're trying to figure something out, something differently or whatever. At one point, so there was a point, Johnny got completely, flustered and frustrated, and he got up and he walks away. And as he's walking away, he says, "Figure it out." And that was it. That was the whole thing. I don't know if you want to call it, I don't think you might call that an argument, but.
Your Honor, I'm about to switch gears a little bit. It might be a
Okay.
good time for a mid-morning break.
Perfect, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and have you take your morning recess for 15 minutes, okay? Just remember to not talk to anybody and do not do any outside research, okay? And we'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
Do I
You can
stand?
stay right here, that's fine, you don't have to stand. Thank you.
So what do y'all think so far? Mr. Isaac Baruch. He did a lot of talking. He did a lot of speaking.
All right. Sir, I just want to remind you, since you're still on the stand under oath, you can't talk to any of the attorneys or Mr. Hurt at this time until your testimony is done, okay?
Okay.
All right, and we'll be back, at 11:45, okay?
I gotta stay here the
Yeah, you have to stay
whole
the
time.
whole time.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, this guy is funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is a character. Oh my God. Definitely, I will say he's been the best part of day 2 so far, y'all. Definitely, probably gonna be one of the funniest characters we have. Uh, Damn, I didn't even know I was on mute, y'all. Shout out to Shell for sending me that article. I appreciate that. Basically, spoiler alert, Amber Heard actually changed the locks on that apartment. So that's what's going to be exposed or leading up to that. You like his accent? Where he faced Amber when she was told him lies about Johnny and changing locks. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's definitely coming up. I can't wait. Right, Linda. It's funny because how can you not laugh? That guy is a character. He definitely should have been doing comedy. I don't know about his artwork. Did y'all see the artwork? I can't even share my screen and show y'all the artwork. I'm surprised Instagram allowed that. Because Instagram will take down a post in a minute. Yep, change the locks on that penthouse. Where's the article, y'all? Oh, I looked it up on my phone. That's why I can't find it. Let me see. I don't want to touch my computer screen too much because it always ends up messing up. Ooh. Here we go. This was in 2020. It was titled Johnny Depp Trial Hears About the Day Amber Heard Changed the Locks on Their Apartment. Artist Isaac Baruch, a childhood friend of Johnny Depp's, told London court Friday about the day he allegedly found Amber Heard changing the locks to the Los Angeles penthouse she shared with the actor. Baruch was given evidence by video link from the U.S. on the 9th day of Depp's libel trial against a publisher of the Sun newspaper, which is taking place at London's Royal Courts of Justice. Depp is suing news group newspapers and journalist Dan Wotton for an article on the Sun website that described him as a wife beater. Depp denies that he was violent toward Heard, to whom he was married from 2015 to 2017. Baruch lived rent-free in you know they're going to hell. Why they say rent-free? Baruch lived rent-free in an apartment owned by Depp at the Eastern Columbia building in Los Angeles between 2013 and 2016 on the same floor, and Depp and Heard and oh, hold on. I read that completely wrong. Eastern Columbia building in Los Angeles between 2013 and 2016 on the same floor that Depp and Heard had an apartment. Baruch said he had borrowed $100,000 from Depp and had yet to repay the money. He's in. Oh my God. I don't know if I would tell anybody that I paid somebody $100,000. I mean, that somebody gave me $100,000 and I still haven't paid them back. I would just be all like, he gave me some money, and I don't know how much it was. I would say I don't know how much it was because immediately they're gonna be like, "Oh, did you pay taxes on that money?" They're gonna want to know a whole bunch of questions and stuff like that, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I ain't got the answer for it." Wow. Let me skip where it talks about the locks. Oh, okay. I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead. Baruch said he did not see any marks on Heard's face when she alleged Depp had struck her with the telephone. She told me that he hit her in the face and threw a phone at her. I then asked her where he had hit her, and she stretched her neck and pushed out right side of her head for me to look at her right eye. We both were standing in front of the open doorway of Penthouse 1 with lights from the hallway and the sunlight that came in through the windows from the Penthouse 1, which filled the room and spread into the hallway. It was very easy for me to get excellent view of Miss Heard's face. I literally was around 12 inches from her, inspecting her face, and I did not see a single mark or evidence of any marks, bruising, or swelling of any kind anywhere on her face. So he basically did not see anything. Oh, hold on, y'all. There I go. He did not see any marks on her face or anything like that. Heard was not wearing makeup. He said her face looked to me as natural as normal. all the other times I've seen it over the past 3 years while hanging out together around the apartments. Baruch said he saw Heard often over the next few days, spotting no injuries before she went to court, sporting the bruised cheek, which she said came from the altercation with Depp. The trial continues Monday, and okay. So yeah, y'all. So they're gonna bring this up in the court case where, you know, she says that they got into a drunken Depp was in a drunken rage and he was angry and they got into this fight, but he was all like, you know, I looked in good sunlight and I didn't see no marks, no hits on her face. You know, this was basically something that it was a story she created. Now, I do want to say, because I don't want anybody to be offended. Now, you know, necessarily, if you're going through a DV situation, that doesn't mean that necessarily you'll have marks. But you know, this is a pattern that she does. Keep saying that she's being abused, but you don't see any marks or anything like that. And y'all, shout out to Mimi because she also sent me some recordings from Amber Heard, and it's like, ugh, it's just not good. Amber Heard likes to hit, and she'll start punching me. Johnny Depp told Friend. Shout out to Shell again. She sent another article. Johnny Depp confided in childhood friend. Oh Lord, is this Mr. Baruch again? Yep, it's Mr. Baruch. Friend that Amber Heard likes to hit in early part their relationship. The High Court heard today. Artist Isaac Baruch, who has known Depp since they were teenagers, claims the actor spoke to him in 2013 about his private life with Heard. In his evidence to the libel trial, Mr. Baruch said Depp had told him, I don't know what to do. She likes to argue and she likes to hit. Ah, shit. Y'all, it's some shit going on. Mr. Baruch said he pressed for details and was told she just wants to argue about stuff all the time, and then she'll start hitting me. The artist said he was kind of surprised by news, asking if Depp was referring to playful hitting, but the star continues. She argues and then she'll just start punching me and wants to fight. I'll try to stop her, but she just keeps going to the point where I just stop trying to stop her and say, okay, go ahead and do your worst. Get it out your system. Amber, this ain't looking good, Amber. Mr. Baruch said Depp added, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm not going to hit her. You know me. I'm not going to hit her. I love her. Damn. Depp was really... Listen. You only got one time to hit me, and then I'm leaving. I ain't going to just let you keep beating me up. Mr. Baruch said he told his friend Hidden definitely doesn't sound too healthy, adding, you don't have to stay in this relationship if you don't want to. Nothing is written in stone. Depp is suing the Sun publisher for... Oh, okay, libel case. Okay. Anything... Okay, I read through the good parts on that one. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say the good parts, but basically the meat and potatoes. I don't want to give everything away because I still want to watch this and see what he says today. Hey, y'all. Shit, I guess I'll give y'all a quick update. This is something else not related to this. Basically somebody called me a racial derogatory term. People have been asking me about it, so just know that that's probably going to be coming out in a few in an hour or so. And yes, I was aware of the situation before it happened, so I just want to let y'all know, but that's what's going to come out, and we can talk about that on another video. Oh, thank you for the $2.98. Thank you, Amna. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. And shout out to anybody who's PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or anything like that. I appreciate that. So at this point, does Amber Heard have any chance of winning? Because to me, it looks all bad. Thank you, Ashley, for having my back. I appreciate that. Yeah, just a nasty, disgusting, filthy dog animal who lives in a shack in a garage. The word rhymes with trigger. That's what I was called. I have done that, but he wanted Cash App. I'm sorry, my friend. I hope they get lit up. They probably will. Oh, depends on if the jury buys into her lies. I definitely think she doesn't have good lawyers. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. Viva, it's over there on the Cooter Brown family. I'll say that. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Only dummies don't get out of jury duty. Yo, I haven't been summoned yet. I'm surprised because the whole address change thing. I haven't been summoned yet, so I'm lucky. Has it been 15 minutes yet? Yes, Chelsea girl, that's who it is. You're right about that. I think she's gonna cry too. She looks like she's already about to cry. Lucky. I was like, damn, why she look like she about to cry already? Her lawyers are vile liars, repeating her lies. I don't think they will have an issue proving her lies. Right. And Mina just put the answer who it is right there. She's making preparations. Oh, we still got like 2 more minutes. Okay. Oh, that fat queen. Cooter didn't even go to sleep, too busy punishing his liver. Right. Yo, remember they used to say cocaine is a hell of a drug? Well, I just think alcohol in general might just be bad for you. Right, sweating arse. Right, Canelo. Shout out to Canelo. Make sure you guys follow Canelo TV. The albino black man. Right, you can't make sense of crackheads. You're right about that. So Johnny Depp, I feel sorry for him. All the audios that we've heard, yeah, you feel bad. If y'all haven't checked out the audios, they are online. And the crazy part is that the audios have been out for a while too. And not that I can say that I honestly paid attention to this case, but there's no way, after hearing the recordings, there's no way that Amber Heard can like win this or anything. Like, she's definitely going down. Now, she's not worth 100 million, but I mean, ugh. I am a white girl here. She's working you. The racist bitch is trying hard. Damn, Linda. Damn, she went in. Thank you, Shell, for dropping this link. I appreciate that. Hector said, I get the vibe that JD is just a super nice guy who tries to help everyone and anyone. Yeah, I want to be his friend so he can get me a penthouse and I can finish college for free. Like, yo, this guy was paying for everything. That's a friend right there. Right, she only worth 8 milli. So I don't know how he expect to get all his money. Because she can't even afford to pay that charity either, right? How much did she get in the divorce settlement, y'all? She got like 10 million? She got like 10 million, right? Out the divorce settlement, I think. Don't quote me. Yo, and Isaac Baruch, 7 million. 7 million. Okay. Isaac Baruch, some of his artwork is disturbing. Like, he has like artwork of like the little rascals. But oh, they back, y'all. Let me shut up.
You can stay. You can stay. That's fine.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. By the way, I'm laying in bed right now. I might fall asleep. Somebody wake me up.
All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Your next question.
Mr. Baruch, were
We're
you
back.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you for coming back.
yes,
Were you still living in penthouse 2 of the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016?
yes,
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
yes.
What were you doing?
I was out, it was evening time. I'm out in the neighborhood and I'm on my way home. I get a phone call from my friend who wants to know if I want to go out and eat. I said I just ate, but I'm 5 minutes away from the Eastern Columbia building home, and go across the street, get something to eat, and bring it up for takeout, and we'll go upstairs to my joint and we'll eat. And yeah,
Did you meet your friend back at the Eastern Columbia building?
yeah,
Around what time was that?
9:30.
What happened after you met your friend?
We went upstairs.
Can we pull up plaintiff's exhibit 116 again, please? And Your Honor, given that this has already been admitted, I'd ask that it be published.
All right. That's fine. You can publish it. You just can't see it. It's not on this. Okay. You still have it?
Mr. Baruch, is it on the screen in front of you?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Mr. Baruch, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about what happened after you went upstairs that evening. And it may be helpful for you. There are controls on that screen that you can use to sort of mark the exhibit to show the jury the spots that you're talking about and identifying.
So if you just touch it, it'll make a mark. So you don't have to touch the top. That's fine.
LL just put Darth Jada.
No, you don't, just wait, and then you can touch it whenever she needs you to mark it.
Just wherever I touch it, it's gonna make a mark.
It will.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Baruch, when you got upstairs that evening with your friend around 9:30,
Yeah.
what did you see?
We got out of the elevator and, you know, just like in the graph, you make a left and then you turn the corner. When we walked out, I noticed on the floor, there's shards of glass, there's pieces of glass. And so, you know, it's just looking, going, oh, something busted. Could be one of the sconces or something like that. And kept walking.
Can you mark on the exhibit where you saw the broken glass that evening?
Yeah. Boom. Right there, right where you could go left or you could go right. And if you wanted to go to the pool area, there's an exit that way. So you could either go right or you go left. You go left, you're in the apartment, going in the hallway through the apartment, or you go right there in that spot.
And did you continue on to your penthouse after you saw the broken glass?
Oh yeah, so we walk around and then we make the turn. We hang the right past penthouse 5 and we stop right in front of right here.
And why did you stop right there?
Oh, stopped in front of here, penthouse 1, which is it's more right there, because there's this puddle of wine, huge puddle of wine on the floor that's in front of the door. And there's the splashed wine that's dripping down the wall. And so we stopped and I'm looking at it and going, look at this. Someone must have got hammered. These guys probably had a party. And at that point, right then, as soon as I said that, the door opens up and it's Josh Drew, who pokes his head out the door, only enough for his head to come out. And he's pretty
Who is
bug-eyed
Josh,
and
y'all?
looks distraught. And I look at him and I go, what's up with the spilt wine? And I'm figuring I'd get an explanation or whatever. And he looked at me and just said, rough day, had a rough day. And at that point, I got concerned and said to him, because I'm friends with him, you know, I got concerned. I said, hey, you okay? You want me to help you with something? Do you need help? He said, no, it's okay. We got it. And I said, okay. And me and my buddy took off and went into my place.
And what did you do after that?
My buddy ate. I believe he had pizza from across the street, and we talked. We yapped for a while, and you know, could be I could yap, so it could, you know, it could take. We were there probably an hour and change or something like that, and then.
Oh yeah, he looked like he could talk forever.
So I walked him out and walked down, went to the elevator, walked out, went to the elevator. We went downstairs. I walked him out the door, finished the conversation that we were having. And I said, all right, see ya. And then I went back in. I went upstairs and I went to bed.
Around what time was that you went back into the Eastern Columbia building?
You know something, if we got there at like around 9:30 and we're talking, I don't know, an hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know, somewhere around 11 o'clock, I would think.
We can go ahead and take Exhibit 116 down. Mr. Baruch, can you describe for the jury the events of the next day, May 22nd, 2016?
Yes. It's my birthday. May 22nd is my birthday. I wake up, I end up texting Johnny and saying, hey, I'm gonna be in town, because he's not staying at the Eastern Columbia building. He's staying in a house in town, okay? And so I texted him, it's my birthday. I said, listen, I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna come by and to have a birthday drink. Okay. I didn't hear from him, I didn't get an answer back, but I said, that's what I'm doing. If that happens, that happens. But, so it was around noon time, so I left. I walked out of my apartment and I go through the hallway, as you see the graph. I go through the hallway and I turn the corner from Penthouse Street. And as I'm walking down, well, who do I see? I see a group of people. It's a guy in black clothes, a black shirt, black pants, Amber Heard, and I see Josh Drew, who's leaning up against the door, and the door is open.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
Walking up, I'm saying, hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? And then Amber turns to me as I'm walking up. Amber turns to me and she says, Johnny came by last night. He got violent. So I'm changing the locks on 1, 3, and 5. And I'm looking.
Here we go, y'all.
And she goes, oh, and don't worry about 2. You're okay. And at this point, I'm now walking past. So now we're all in front of the open door of the apartment. And I see there's 2 guys, 2 locksmiths working on the door. So now I'm standing on one side and you have Josh Drew on one side of the door. You got the 2 locksmiths with the door open, working on it. The sun's coming through the door, sunlight from windows. And then Amber is in front of me. And there's the security guy. And that with 2 feet away from each other, talking. And she introduces me as she's finishing saying, oh, don't worry about your apartment. She says, oh, and this is a security guard that I got who's going to be hanging around. And I got introduced. She introduced me to him and I shook his hand. He gave me a card, which I lost. And I'm kind of taking this in and going, and I said, wait, what happened? What's going on? And at that point, Josh Drew looks at me and gives me the high sign to like, hey, follow me. I'll tell you in private. And
Mr. Rich, when you were speaking with Ms. Heard, how close were
Brandis,
you
he
standing
does
to
have a
her?
great memory. You're right about that.
like I said, I'm 2 feet, a foot and a half, 2 feet away. We're all 2 feet.
And how was the lighting in that area?
There's lights in the hallway, but we're standing in an open doorway that the wall is all windows. Sunlight's coming through, and you could operate in this light. There's that much light.
Did you notice any marks on her face when you were speaking with her?
No,
Did you see any bruises?
no,
Did you see any redness?
no,
Did you notice any swelling?
no,
Did it look like Ms. Heard was wearing any makeup?
no.
Had you seen her wearing makeup before?
Yeah.
This is the exact
And
same
had you seen her not
story.
wearing makeup before?
Yeah, I've seen him, like I said, with face mask, doing a face mask, no makeup, hanging around, waking up in the morning, no with makeup, glammed out to go out. And it's 3.5 years of seeing her in different
The
forms.
same testimony that he gave in
Did you
London.
speak with
He
Mr.
telling the
Drew
truth,
about
y'all.
anything at that point?
Well, yeah, after I said that, hey, what's going on? And he gave me the high sign to like, hey, follow him. We went into my apartment and had a conversation.
And what happened after you had that conversation with Mr. Drew?
We left the apartment and we go walking back towards penthouse 1. And as I'm walking back, I say to Amber, as I'm walking up, he hit you? And she goes, yeah, he threw a phone at me and hit me. And I'm looking, because I had just seen her 2 feet away, and I'm going, where? And she puts her head out. She puts her face out like that for me to look at her, the right side of her face. And I'm looking, but at that point also, I'm looking and I turn around, get on the other side. We're in the doorway. So I'm on this side with the light shining this way from the doorway with the lights above, but the sunshine. And she's got her face out like this, looking, to show me. And I'm looking and I inspect her face. I'm looking at her forehead. I'm looking at the side of her eye. I'm looking at her cheek. I'm looking at her chin. I'm looking at the other side of the face. I'm looking at the whole thing. And I don't see anything. I don't see anything I don't see a cut, a bruise, swelling, redness. It's just Amber's face that she's going like this and showing me. So I'm not seeing anything. I back up and I'm making a joke. I make a joke going, well, I don't see anything, but maybe all the beauty from one side of your face to the other side of the face is outshining everything, so I can't see anything. And she's laughed and she's, smiled. And I just looked at everybody and said, hey, it sounds nuts. And I went and I said, I gotta go. And I gave her a hug and kissed her on that side of the face. And then I left, said goodbye.
What was her reaction when you kissed her on that side of the face?
This guy is hilarious.
Did she flinch?
No.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the next day?
Yeah.
When was that?
So that's Monday. That was May 22nd, my birthday. So then the next day is Monday, the 23rd. I had woken up with a chest cold and I heard a knock on the door and it's Amber. So I opened up the door.
Around what time was that?
That's, I want to say maybe around noontime, maybe a little bit before, maybe it could have been a little bit, I think around noontime again. And I went downstairs and I opened up the door.
And when you opened the door, did you have a good view of Ms. Heard?
Absolutely, yeah.
How was the lighting?
Lighting's fine. Lighting from outside, and there's light from my place. Yeah, so the lighting was great.
Did you see any marks on Ms. Heard's face at that time?
No, same thing like the day before. There's no redness. There's no swelling. There's no bruises. There's no cuts. There's no nothing. Just Amber, looking like Amber.
Did you notice if she was wearing any makeup at that point?
She didn't look like she was wearing makeup then either.
What did Ms. Heard say to you during that encounter?
She was knocking on my door to see if
was her face even red? That's what I want to know. Was her face red?
Let the cleaning lady in because she had to go somewhere. And I woke up that day and I had some kind of chest cold thing. I was upstairs laying down. And so I looked at her and I said, hey, listen, I'm feeling sick. I'm going to be upstairs laying down this entire time for the day or whatever. And that, so I can't do it. And then she stood there and is like, well, I got to figure out what to do. Like maybe if she was only dependent upon me to give the housekeeper the key. It's the same. The housekeeper cleans both of our places. And so I said, hey, listen, why don't you go ahead and take the key and put it in an envelope and bring it downstairs to the concierge, and that's where the key will be. And tell Hilda, who is the housekeeper, that that's where the key is. And that's it. And you're set. And she was like, yeah, okay, I guess I could do that. And I'm 3 feet away from her, 2.5, 3 feet away from her talking with her.
And how long did that conversation last?
3 minutes.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the next day?
Yes, I did.
Where did you see her?
All right. I go down. I'm leaving my apartment on Tuesday, to go downstairs to the cafe to go get something hot to drink. I still haven't shopped or did anything for what's a chest cold. And so I wanted something hot to drink. I go downstairs, and as I'm locking my door, that all of a sudden a group of women come up to penthouse 3, because in the corridor on the graph you could see we share the same corridor. So I'm locking my door, and a group of women show up.
Did you recognize who the women were?
3 of them, yeah.
Who were they?
It was, something, I'm unsure if it was 4 or 5 women, but it's Amber, it's her sister Whitney, and it's Melanie Iglesias, who's a makeup artist for Johnny and Amber. And then there's 2 other women I didn't recognize, but sure.
Did you interact with the women at all?
Well, after closing the door, Whitney, who calls me her spirit animal, came running down the hallway, going, "Isaac, spirit animal!" And I'm going, "Hey, listen, I'm not feeling so hot. I'm not feeling so good." And I get duck under her arms, stop. And I love you, but stop. And I duck under her arms, and I go past, and I'm passing the other ladies, Amber and her, who she's with, and I'm looking at them. They're laughing of this whole scene, and then that was it. And then I went past, and went down and got some hot tea.
Did you see Ms. Heard's face during that encounter?
It was a quick glance, but nothing's shot out at me like anything.
Did you see Ms. Heard again the day after that?
Well, I saw her again that day.
Oh, can you describe that, please?
Yeah, that on the way back from me being outside at the cafe, having a tea, I come walking back in, and now all her and the women that she was with are coming back out, and we're in the lobby, and the doors of the lobby, it's all windows, there's great light shining through the entire lobby. And the women there's a table in the middle of the lobby, and her friends, or I don't know if they're friends or not. I know 3. One's a sister, and the other one's a friend. They're walking on one side of the table, and then she's on the other side of the table where I'm walking, and now we're walking past each other, and she's, of course, we're gonna acknowledge each other and looking at each other. And now she's the sun shining right in her face. It's to my back because I'm walking in. And so that's like this, and saying, "All right, hey, all right, enjoy yourself. Have a good time," or whatever you're
Make sure
doing,
you guys like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for
And
coming.
that was it. That was the second time that I saw her. And that's on Tuesday.
And did you get a good look at her face during
Oh.
that second encounter?
Absolutely. The sun shining right on her face.
Did you notice anything unusual about her face?
Nothing. No cuts, no bruises, no
Amber,
swelling,
you a liar, girl.
no,
Amber, you lying.
redness, no. It's Amber. It's Amber's face.
And then did you see Ms. Heard again the day after that?
Yes, I did.
And that's Wednesday, May 25th?
That's right.
Where did you see her?
At that point, I was like, okay, I got to shop for something because otherwise I'm not going to get rid of this chest cold. I'm going to go to the store, and on the way back, in between the garage and the building, there's this room with like vestibule, that's you have to walk through. And I'm coming in to go into the building, and Amber and Whitney, her sister, are coming out of the building to go into the garage. And we met there.
How long did you speak with them, if at all?
Yeah, we spoke. That's so we're facing each other. Amber and Whitney are across from me. We're 2.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other talking. Of course, and so we stop, of course, to say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Where you going? Where you going? Where you coming from? I have bags of food in my hand of stuff that I went and I bought. And so I said, hey, I'm coming from shopping. I finally bought myself some stuff to get rid of this chest cold thing. And they go, and they're going to the CVS. And they look at me and so what's yapping, everyone's smiling and stuff. And she says, you sure we can't get you anything? How about we get you some aspirin or some, some cold stuff? I said, no, I think I got everything. And and they said, you sure? And I said, yeah, of course, I got it. Don't sweat it. And, a kiss or whatever. I got my hands, I can't hug or whatever. So, and then, I said to see you, and I went up, and they went through the garage. That was it that day.
Did you have a good look at her face during that conversation?
Yes, this room. Yes, yeah, this room. It's completely lit. That it's a spot, and there's a camera taking cameras always on, the security camera, and always, and so it's got good lighting and stuff, because this is a spot where if you use your fob key to go into the building, well, the door takes a long time to, it's one of those things with the pressure thing that the door just doesn't close shut. It takes a while for it to close. Someone could be in the garage who's not supposed to be in the garage, run and hold the door open. And that then they get into the apartment building, and then who knows, maybe somebody gets ripped off. But so it's well lit for security reasons, and that there's a camera there. It's taking pictures, doing what the camera does.
Was Ms. Heard wearing makeup during that discussion?
Neither of them looked like they were wearing makeup at all. Whitney had this hat on that it was a fun hat or whatever, and that no makeup. I don't even know Whitney to be a makeup person. And that Amber, no, she looked like she was, just natural Amber. It's all, just as always, no makeup.
Did you notice any marks on Ms. Heard's face?
No.
Did you notice any swelling?
No swelling. No, there's nothing. There's no swelling, no bruising, no redness, no cuts, no, I don't even, nothing.
Turning back to May 21st for a second, when you first heard that Ms. Heard told you Mr. Depp had hit her, do you recall that?
Say that again?
When Ms. Heard told you that Mr. Depp had hit her on May 22nd.
Yeah, my birthday.
How did you feel hearing her say that?
All right. What's the relevance to how he felt?
I mean, it's a present sense impression of how he perceived that in that moment.
I'll sustain the objection.
Mr. Baruch, did you see Ms. Heard at all the rest of that week of May 23rd?
No.
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Say that again?
Did you learn at some point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
How did you learn that?
I learned it from the internet. After the weekend, around probably Monday, either Sunday or Monday, I'm on the internet, and
I did hear that the sister is supposed to testify, Elizabeth.
It was the Friday of that week, the past week, and there's a picture of Amber wearing a black morning dress and with this brown mark on her cheek, and that she's been to a divorce. She went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprised is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
At any point when you had seen her during that prior week, had she told you that she intended to file for divorce?
I'll allow it. Go ahead. You can answer the question, sir.
What's the question again?
At any point when you had seen her during that week, had Ms. Heard told you that she intended to file for divorce?
No, she never once. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Friday, not even see it. No, there's no, I'm clueless. She did not say anything about divorce.
So what did you think when you saw those pictures and read the articles and learned that she was filing for divorce?
All right.
I'm sorry, objection relevance to what he thought.
I mean,
The
it builds on
relevance?
all of the testimony he's given previously, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
When did you see Ms. Heard next after that?
She knocks on my door June 3rd, Friday night, June 3rd. She knocks on my door around 11 o'clock is the next time that I see her.
And what happened when she knocked on your door on June 3rd?
I opened up the door, and naturally, something I'll say is, hey, how you doing? To say hello. So I open up the door, say, hey, how you doing? And she looks at me and she says, not feeling so hot that I made some food. Would you like to come over and eat with me? And at that point, after, everything I've seen, I looked at her, I said, listen, me and you, we're not going to talk anymore. After everything that I've just seen all week long, from the past week and change, listen, I'm confused, I'm angry, and I'm frustrated by everything that I've seen. And that I think the best thing is for me and you that we don't talk anymore.
Did she say anything in response?
Yes, in response to that, she looks at me and she says, I told Johnny I don't want anything. The lawyers are making me do all of this. And that's what she said.
Did you respond to Ms. Heard?
No, what I was thinking was to me, after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, gay cock'em yum, hey, how,
All right. I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
Did you see any injuries on Ms. Heard's face on June 3rd when you spoke with her?
No.
Did you ever speak with Ms. Heard again after that?
Well, she said to me after that the lawyers are making me do all of this. Then I was just looking at her, and then she ended what she was saying by saying, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I closed the door and would never talk to her ever again.
Did you have any interactions with the staff at the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. They keep on doing these little sidebars, damn it. There's this percent. Oh, that might be the poll, Vita, that you're talking about. That might be the poll. Shell, I just read your comment.
Mr. Baruch, did you have any interactions with the staff of the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And at some point, did you see a security video taken in the Eastern Columbia building?
Yes.
When was that?
sometime in June, maybe 2 weeks in or something like that. It's 2-3 weeks in.
Can you describe what you saw in that video?
Yes, I can. It was a video of Amber and Whitney waiting at the elevator, a mezzanine level, coming from the garage, obviously, and waiting for the elevator. And Whitney does this to Amber. Pow! And hits her, like faking hitting her in the face, going pow! And then they start laughing.
Did Ms. Heard react at all in that video to the fake punch that you observed Whitney throw?
Yeah, she's laughing after doing it. They both, laughing at each other with each other.
Mr. Baruch, do you know who Elon Musk is?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Mr. Musk in person?
Yeah.
Where did you see him in person?
First time was I'm getting into the elevator on the rooftop, penthouse level. I'm going into the elevator and he's coming out of the elevator, going past me.
And when did that take place?
This is after May. This is sometime June, it could be July, but after May.
In that same year, 2016?
Yeah.
And when was the second time that you saw Mr. Musk?
One morning waking up and going and opening up the shades to the bedroom, and it's on the second floor and it overlooks the balconies, our joining balconies, because my balcony joins with John and Amber's balcony. And that opening up the shades, I see Elon Musk going through the balcony door on their side to then walk down a common corridor to that then at the end leads to a door that you walk out to the rest of the rooftop. And you go to the pool, you go to the gym and stuff. So I'm looking out, and the view out the window is of both of our balconies. So that's where I saw him.
And when was that?
Oh, sometimes it's either June, July, but it's after May.
Mr. Bruce, how long have you known Mr. Depp?
Met him, I believe, in 1980, and what's 42 years? Well, it's going to be 42 years.
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
Objection leading.
I'll allow the question. Okay.
I'm allowed to answer?
Yes, yes.
What's the question again?
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
No. Well, from what I said from before, there was an argument that I walked in. So there's obviously that, but have I ever seen him be violent to her with physicality? No.
Did you ever see him hit her?
Never.
In your 3.5 years living at the Eastern Columbia building next to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, did you ever observe any injuries or marks on Ms. Heard?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading.
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard when you were living at the Eastern Columbia building with her?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I can answer?
Yes, sir.
What's the question again?
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard during the time that you were living next door to her at the Eastern Columbia building?
Besides having great teeth? No.
Mr. Baruch, are you appreciative of everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
He keep talking about her teeth.
Leading and relevant.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading. All right.
Mr. Baruch, how do you feel about what Mr. Depp has done for you?
Objection. Well, you know what? No, I'll go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I think that's withdrawn. Go ahead. You can answer the question.
Oh.
Could just answer the question, sir.
And the question is,
How do you feel about everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
oh, come on, it's unreal. It's, you think too much about it, you're gonna cry. That I appreciate everything that he's done for me. It's like stuff you can't pay back.
Would you lie for him under oath?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Leading.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Have you given truthful testimony today, sir?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
It's still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right. Cross-examination.
Let's start with the makeup. Now, you know that Ms. Heard was.
Excuse me. I
I'm sorry?
didn't hear the beginning of what you started saying.
I said, let's start with the makeup.
Okay,
Okay. You're aware that Ms. Heard has both modeled and been an actor and had been for many years before you met her, correct?
I knew she acted. I didn't know she was a model.
Okay. Were you aware that she had a commercial agreement with L'Oreal, for example?
When, now or back then?
What's your knowledge?
I don't know any of that.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard when she has put makeup on?
I've been in the room, yeah, when makeup was getting put on her, yeah.
When makeup was being put on her, was this for some acting role or something like that?
It was an event that they were going to.
Mhm. So that was somebody else applying makeup to Ms.
Yeah.
Heard, who was going to have some gala event that she was going to.
Yeah,
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Heard in her bathroom or anything when she's applying her makeup in the morning?
no.
Okay. Are you familiar with Amica cream?
What is it?
Amica?
Amica?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you know what type of foundation Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of concealer Ms. Heard uses?
No.
Do you know what type of tint Ms. Heard uses?
I have no clue.
Do you know what types of powders Ms. Heard uses?
No.
So when you're saying that you didn't notice any makeup, would it be fair to say that you yourself are not familiar with what type of makeup Amber Heard uses on a daily basis?
I don't know what she uses on a daily basis.
That's my point. Now, the first time that you saw her, which was May 22nd,
Yeah.
Ms. Heard was there. Were you aware she was on her way to somebody else's birthday party, not yours, but somebody else's that day?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what her hairstyle was that day?
It's just down.
Down as in,
Just regular. How she has it up now. She's got some kind of hairstyle, but no, she was no hair down, regular, no makeup, just hanging.
well, when you say no makeup, you don't know she was not wearing makeup, correct?
For a fact?
Correct.
No.
And you don't know whether she had applied Amica cream, correct?
No.
She probably
I don't
wasn't
even
wearing
know
no
what
makeup.
Amica cream is.
And you don't know whether she had applied concealer, foundation, or powder or tint, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if she's going out to a party,
Yeah.
do you think she would want to have her bruise exposed?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Cause for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Next question.
So, do you recall what Ms. Heard was wearing that day?
You know something? I could have sworn she had on a schmata dress, hippie dress at that particular time, but I could be confusing it with June 3rd. She's got this Victorian type of long hippie dress that has
How does he remember
embroidery,
all these
and
details?
she definitely was wearing that night.
All right, but let's go back to May 22nd. Do you
Yeah.
recall what she was wearing?
I could have swore she was wearing another schmata dress that I've seen her hanging around the apartment with.
And do you recall what color?
No,
Okay. Do you recall what jewelry Ms.
No.
Heard was wearing that day? No. Okay. Now, you indicated that there was a security guard there and there was
Yes.
Josh Drew,
Yeah.
correct? And was there anyone else there?
Yeah, the two locksmiths.
Okay,
And
so,
also in the apartment, for a fleeting second, person went walking by and who seemed to me looked like it was Raquel Pennington, but it could have been another friend that was supposedly staying with them.
okay, so you saw somebody come by. So how many?
No, go through the living room and then they're out of the picture because they went upstairs. So that's somebody that else was in that room but walking by.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, and you talked to Josh. What did Josh tell you? Josh
When?
Drew, he took you to the side. What did he tell you?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
All right. I'll sustain the objection to hearsay.
All right. Before you spoke with Josh Drew in the other room, what, if anything, had been said about what Mr. Depp did the night before?
Objection to the extent it calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
The hearsay objection, I'll sustain that objection. Next
I'm
question.
not, I'm asking what, if anything.
That was still solicit hearsay.
But he already testified about what Amber said. I'll go back to that.
Okay.
So what exactly did Amber Heard tell you happened the night before?
As I was walking up the first time, she turned to me and said, Johnny came by last night and got violent. So I'm changing the locks on penthouse 1, 3, and 5. Don't worry about your place.
Okay. Did you ask her for any more specifics on what she
About
meant by
changing
getting
locks?
violent?
Huh?
Did you ask her for any specifics about what she meant by he came by and got violent?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump you to the next day for a few, and then I'm going to come back. But let's go to the next day. So the next day, you testified that you saw her twice, correct?
From Sunday? No. Monday I saw her once in the morning. I want to
That's when
say
she
around
came
12.
by to ask if you could have the key or that you could leave the key for the house.
Right, for Hilda.
And you weren't feeling well, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you wouldn't have been standing very close to Amber, right? Because you were sick?
Well, I opened up the door and I'm holding the door. We're like 3 feet away from each other. Yeah.
Okay. And you told her you were sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where she was going out someplace, correct?
She was going somewhere.
All
Yeah.
right.
She wasn't going to be there.
All right. Do you know whether she had applied any Amica cream that morning to her face?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any concealer to her face that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any foundation that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any tint that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any powder that morning?
No.
Now, the next
I
day.
can tell you, she looked like she wasn't wearing any makeup.
Right. And would you agree that people who are models and actors can be pretty darn good with putting makeup on so that you can't tell they're wearing makeup?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation calls for speculation.
I think that's a fair question to ask him.
I'll sustain as a speculation. Next,
All right.
next question.
Do you have any knowledge of the skills of Amber Heard with respect to putting on makeup?
Well, it can't be that good because she's got a friend who is a makeup artist who came over to do makeup, but I don't really know.
Right, and that makeup artist that comes over does it when she's going to be on some show or in some big public event or gala, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makeup person, and you're talking about Melanie Iglesias, right? That
Right,
makeup-
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and that
exactly.
makeup person doesn't put Amber's makeup on every day for her, does she?
I wouldn't know.
How many times did you see Melanie Iglesias put makeup on Amber?
One time.
Okay,
It's just one time.
okay. So she wasn't living at Amber's house, right?
No. I hung out with her and her husband and Johnny and Amber And, you know, over there, one time eating, and then another time, it was when I met her, that seeing her do makeup for these guys.
Okay, so you're not saying that Amber doesn't know how to put makeup on herself, correct?
Oh, no, I'm sure she does.
Okay, but again.
I would
you've-
think she does, you know, but for the most, I'll tell you what, over 3.5 years, living around each other, for the most part, she's not a makeup wearing person, completely natural. Her, Rocky, total great complexion, Texas natural girl next door, no makeup wearing, hanging out.
Did Amber ever tell you she was not wearing makeup?
Did she ever tell me?
In any of those 3.5
When?
years that you're saying she wasn't wearing it around the house, did she ever say, I don't have a stitch of makeup on? Objection.
As many times as she's told me I am wearing makeup, which is, I can't remember. So I don't know. Yeah, no. There's not one time I remember that or saying that.
Okay, so now let's go to the next day. I think that's the day you've got the 2 times that you saw her. She's with other people.
Yeah.
And she's either going out or coming in, correct?
Well, first time they're coming in and the second time they're going out.
So they've been out someplace before they're coming in, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
I'll allow it. You can answer the question, sir.
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, but they're physically entering the house. In other words, they haven't been in the house, they're coming to the house from someplace, right?
Oh, I would have no idea. When I walked out, who knows? They might have been out and twice before that, but I don't know. They
Okay.
could be coming from another apartment, you know, coming, you know, to go there. And I'm seeing them, it could be the second time that they're entering this apartment, or the first time, or the third time. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I have no idea.
and do you know, so you don't know where they were?
No,
And
of
so you
course
have
not.
no idea whether they were out in public someplace, correct?
No, of
Okay.
course not. I
All right.
wouldn't know that.
All right. And then the later time that you saw them that day, they were going out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know whether Amber had any Amica cream on that day?
No, I don't know.
And I'll try to make this faster. Do you know whether Amber was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint that day?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, the next day, I think you said it was she and Whitney. Is that correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, do you know whether she was wearing any Amica cream?
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry. I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
sir.
That, no,
And do you know whether she was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint?
no.
Okay. Can you tell me what Amber's hairstyle was on the 23rd?
That's Monday. Like I said, when she knocks on my door, hands down.
Okay. Can you tell me what she was wearing that day?
Not exactly, but if best of my recollection, pair of dungarees and a t-shirt.
Okay.
At the time when she knocked on my door to give me the key. If she went home to go change or something like that, I got no clue.
Do you remember what color the t-shirt was?
I think it might have been white, best of my recollection.
Do you remember what jewelry Amber had on?
Oh.
Okay, let's go to the next day, the Wednesday, and you've got all these people here.
Next day is Tuesday.
Okay, next day, Tuesday, is when you had the bunch of people coming together to her house the first time, right?
Right.
What was she wearing then?
You want to know something? I do remember of a women's beige long coat, kind of like a woman's not a raincoat, but it could be similar to that. It was a beige, long, kind of looking like a business coat type of thing. The female version of a Columbo jacket.
Okay, and what was she wearing under it?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, and do you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
No.
Okay. Now, you said that on the 22nd that you kissed her on the cheek.
What day?
The 22nd, your birthday?
22nd, Sunday, yes.
Okay, so when you showed it the first time, you went like this, right? And then the next time when you said you did the kisses, you went like this. What's your typical way of kissing women when you greet them or say goodbye?
I'm not understanding any of what you just did.
Okay, so when you, well, I'll just leave it at Amber. When you, I take it that you would regularly kiss Amber on the cheek when you to say hello and to say
Oh, yeah.
goodbye?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And tell us how you did that. Can
Objection,
you
Your
just
Honor.
show us how you did that?
Which time regularly?
Did you have a different way of kissing her on the cheek different times? Or did you have a general way that you would greet or say goodbye to Amber with kisses?
Regular, it's a regular, you give a peck on the cheek, or, like you just touch cheeks and
Okay.
that's that.
So it's a pretty soft, it's kind of like almost a superficial one, or is it a really hard one on the cheek?
No, it's, just, you kiss someone on the side of the cheek. I don't know, pressure-wise, what kind of talk is there?
I mean, is
lip
it just
talk?
one of these little pecks, or is it much harder?
No, it's a regular. You touch, you touch and boom, and that's that.
So you think it was pretty hard? You peck her on the cheek pretty hard every time?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, I'll sustain the objection if you want the next question.
Okay.
How's it?
You also showed that you did one like this. Did you ever do a two kiss when you greeted Amber? Two cheeks?
No, I'm not European. I'm from Brooklyn.
No.
No, you give, Europeans do the,
All right.
both sides. Sometimes you even three. Bam, 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 bam,
But you never did
no.
that.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, let's go to the fake punch. I want to make sure that I understand exactly what you remember seeing.
Yeah,
You said that it was 2 to 3 weeks into June. Is that correct? That you saw it?
it's got to be somewhere in that period.
Okay.
To somewhere in the first three, I would say the first 3 weeks of June.
All right.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Can you recall which week?
No,
Okay. So you saw Whitney and Amber. Was there anyone with them?
no.
Okay. Do you recall what either of them was wearing?
Long jackets. Yes, actually I do.
Okay.
Long jackets, overcoats.
And how was Amber's hair styled that day?
Down, pulled back.
Pulled back or
Well,
down?
it's when I say pull, it's like hair's down, maybe because of something around the neck or whatever. The hair is, flipped back or whatever. Not tied back. I don't remember if it was tied back, but just where it's full.
Okay.
That I remember.
Okay. So now where were they standing when you watched this?
This is where would they stand?
Yes.
They're standing, waiting for one of the elevators on the mezzanine floor where there's, I guess you could see, there's cameras that, has that view of the elevators
So
on the
they're on the-
mezzanine floor.
So they're on the mezzanine level.
Yeah, this is the same level. This is the same level. There's apartments on that level. And that's how the exit, how you get out to go to the garage.
And so were they coming back from the garage?
Well, if they're standing at the elevator outside, that it could be and waiting to get into the elevator on that floor. So it could be that Maybe they came from outside. Maybe they know somebody who lives on that floor because there's apartments there. I got no clue where they're coming from. That's not even in the thought process. When I see this, it's not like, well, I wonder where they're coming from.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay.
just
So now
what I saw.
tell me where they were each standing.
As I'm watching the video, this tape, Amber's on the left and Whitney's on the right.
Okay. And then tell me, just take us through. Tell me what you saw.
Amber's on the left, Whitney's on the right. They're hanging out. Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
And so here's Amber, here's Whitney, and they're hanging, waiting for the elevator. And Whitney they're looking at each other, yapping or whatever they're doing. And Whitney goes like this. Pow. Just a fake pow. And then they both start laughing. And then they're just standing there yapping, doing what they're doing.
And how close does Whitney's fist get to Amber?
Oh, I'm watching this. It's a fake thing. It's not
Right.
like she went and she hit her own sister.
No, but I'm
She
asking
didn't go
how
and hit
close.
her. She just, going pow. If here's my face, if here's my face, it's just coming by. Fake punch going by. This, that far.
Okay.
Just making believe. Just making believe. It's a
Okay.
believe punch.
Okay. And then they both laugh, you say.
Yeah, they both, they just start,
Did you watch them get on the elevator?
no.
Okay, so the part that you saw, the elevator never opened during that time.
That's right.
Okay.
That is correct.
And how many seconds would you say, or minutes would you say this little clip was?
Oh, what I saw was 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Okay. And do you recall what day that was?
That I saw this?
No. Was there a date on the video?
Oh, if there was, it wasn't something that I acknowledged.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, now let's go back to the argument that you witnessed between Mr. Depp and actually Ms. Heard, who was on the phone or the speaker phone. Do you recall testifying about that?
Say this again, start again,
Yes,
again.
let's go back to, you testified that you observed an argument between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. Do you recall that? You came into the room, Mr. Depp had
Yeah.
Amber on speakerphone. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Depp was drunk. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall that Amber was actually in London, not New York?
No.
You don't recall that?
No, I thought I thought it was she was in New York.
Okay. And you recall that Mr. Depp was accusing Amber of sleeping with somebody, right?
There was somebody else in the room with her, and that's what they were arguing about.
Are you sure that Mr. Depp wasn't thinking there was someone in the room and she was trying to tell him there wasn't somebody in the room?
He, say that again?
Are you sure he wasn't saying someone was in the room and she was trying to convince him there wasn't anybody in the room?
Well, he said that he heard the other voice.
Okay, and did you hear the voice?
Oh, no. I
Okay.
walked in there already. This is already in motion.
Right, and Amber's saying, why are you saying that, right?
Amber was saying, "Come on, baby, why are you being like this? What are you doing? Come on, Johnny. What? There's no need. Why are you being like this?"
Right.
And it was taunting.
How is it taunting to say, why are you accusing me of having somebody in my room?
Because they were in the midst of no solution. At that point, it would be if instead of taunting, saying, "Listen, John, let's talk tomorrow and let's end this conversation right now and we'll talk tomorrow and we'll get to an understanding, because there's not going to be any solution right now. But there was none of that. It was just continuous, oh baby,
So
and that kept it going.
if Mr. Depp in his drunken state was suffering from delusions and thought he heard a voice and wasn't, do you think it would have been reasonable for Amber to be saying, what's going on? Why are you saying this? What's going on?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I'll allow the question if you can answer it. You can answer the question, sir, if you.
Would I think it would be what?
If Mr. Depp was suffering from delusions and there wasn't anybody in the room and he hadn't heard a voice but thinks he's hearing a voice, would it be reasonable for Amber to be trying to figure out what's going on?
Objection, Your Honor. Hypothetical speculation.
I'll sustain as a speculation to that question.
And the bottom line is you came in on the call, so you don't know what he said first or whether there was any voices, correct?
Whether he heard voices?
Yes.
Besides hers?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation.
Okay. And then after the hang up, he went straight to bed, right?
No, after the first hang up,
Right.
she calls back again, which was it necessary? I don't know.
Do
And
you
then
know
a third
whether she
time,
knew? Do you know whether she knew whether he accidentally hung up or not?
that he accidentally hung up?
Right. Do you know whether she knew whether he hung up intentionally or
No,
accidentally?
it's the same way that I wouldn't know if, like, yeah, she didn't know that the telephone line got cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the 3 calls that you testified about, he went straight to bed, right?
Went to the couch and laid down.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and he was drunk.
Yeah, and he went to sleep. Yeah, he went out.
Do you know whether he'd taken any drugs that night?
No.
Now, you have known, you've already testified, you've known him for 42 years.
Yeah.
You didn't pay rent at the penthouse, correct?
No, no one did.
Right. Okay. And then after you finished at the penthouse, you went over and lived with him in Sweetser, correct?
I live in one of his house that he owns on Sweetser.
And you still live there
Yes,
and rent free, correct?
yes.
Okay. And has, other than the 100,000, you never paid that back, right? The 100,000 that he's given you?
No, that's a thing that's a thing for me when how I look at it and stuff. At some point, I would love to pay back some that money, but that's not something that is expected. He's expecting.
Would you say
So-
you're kind of beholden to Mr. Depp?
No, I'm not beholden at all.
He's given you $100,000. He's put you
Over
in
a
that
period of,
nice.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole question. Can you say it again?
You were rent free in penthouses for a number of years, and now you've been rent free ever since in Sweetser?
That's a nice friend.
Yeah, okay. And I think you testified already, you're pretty angry with Ms. Heard, right?
When?
I wrote it down that you
Oh,
were.
about the phony pictures that were taken and put in tabloids, and about the fake narrative, and about and the way she's trying to got a fraudulent DV claim to extort and blackmail a man. Yeah, that kind of got me
Pretty angry with it.
frustrated, confused, angry, upset. Yes, which is why I said the best thing for us to do is not to talk to each other.
Okay.
Yes.
And was it fair to say you're still angry with her?
Oh, you know something? It's 6 years.
But
It's
we just heard you
6
give your
years.
version.
Am I angry anymore? I'm not, what I am is tired, and I want this all to end. Her to go heal, him to go heal. So many people have been affected by this malicious lie that she started and she created, and it's gone out the door and around the world. And so I can't even paint anymore. I've stopped painting for the last who knows how many years, and that's affected by stuff. I'm not angry at anybody. I want the best for her to take her responsibility, heal, and move on. And for Johnny, his family has been completely wrecked by all of this stuff, and it's not it's not fair. It's not right what she did and what happened for so many people to get affected from this. It's insane.
And Mr.
That's
Baruch,
how this happened.
and Mr. Baruch, if in fact she's telling the truth, and if in fact Mr. Depp, who has engaged in enormous rage and domestic abuse and violence of Amber over a period of time that you wouldn't know about, then maybe it's time for him to take responsibility, don't you think?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Speculation, lack of foundation, relevance.
Speculations.
He just went off on this rant and rave about assuming that she's,
You asked questions.
I didn't ask a question that launched that.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay,
All right, next
you don't,
question.
I'll ask this.
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, you don't know whether Mr. Depp has committed domestic violence of Amber Heard, do you?
I never witnessed. I never saw or witnessed whatever type of claim that is being said, ever. I've
Okay.
never seen him be violent since teenagers from first
I
meeting.
didn't ask you that. I said you don't know whether he has committed domestic violence or abuse on Amber Heard. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. I did
Okay.
not witness any physical
Right.
violence.
But you have seen Mr. Depp use drugs as well as drink and be drunk, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now,
I've
how,
partaken.
I'm going to ask you to take a look. Let's pick up Depp exhibit number 116 again. It's already in. If we can have that published to the jury.
Ms. Berthoff, how much more do you think you have?
I think I can finish it up if you give
Okay,
me
sure,
5 or 10 more
no,
minutes,
that's well,
maybe
mhm.
maybe less.
Okay, all right. I'll
Thank
hold
you.
you to that. Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Bruce, I just want to make sure that I understand. This is the penthouse thing, and you
Ms.
said.
Berthoff, if you could go to the microphone, it's just so hard to hear you.
Yep, I just realized that.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
So on this diagram, when you got out of you said 9:30 today, but in fact, it was between 9:30 and 10 that you came back with your friend, correct?
No, it was around 9:30. Could be 5 minutes one way, 5 minutes the other way. Could have been.
Do you recall saying it was between 9 and 9, or between 9:30 and 10 earlier?
Today?
No.
Did I said that?
Do you recall, are you sure it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or could it have been between 9:30 and 10?
It was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, either way.
And you saw a broken sconce. Correct?
No, I did not see a broken sconce.
What did you see?
I saw a broken glass on the floor, shards of glass, pieces of glass, which I figured could have been a broken sconce, or possibly maybe something from the fire department stuff that's around the walls. So it could be something broken from that. But maybe one of the sconces broke. I didn't see a broken sconce. I just saw the glass.
Okay, was there typically a sconce right there as you come off the elevator?
Yeah, from my memory, there was sconces on the walls, certain places.
Do you remember looking that night and saying, where did this glass come from? There's a broken one. Did you tie it together?
No, it wasn't, it was assumption it had to come from some of those places, because what the glass looked like to me looked like it might have come from one of those places. Could
Okay.
have been, maybe the sconce.
Okay, when you said from the fire thing, what, were you talking about the fire extinguisher? and the
No,
glass
no,
from
no,
that?
not the fire extinguisher. There was in the hallway, that first hallway that you go through, the doors that you walk through after you get out of the elevator, those doors, they're fire doors that you close. All right, hopefully no one gets burned to death. That would be, crazy. But then along the wall, I believe by the staircase, because there's a door that's next to penthouse 5, then there's the doorway, the stairwell door. And I believe there's a thing that's by the floor there that's got a glass plastic thing around it. So it could have been something from that.
Your Honor, may I approach?
All right, yes, ma'am. Counsel. Do you have another copy of the deposition?
Is this something for me to look at?
Just wait for a question, sir.
I asked you a few minutes ago whether you were sure that it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or if it could have been somewhere between 9:30 and 10. Do you recall me asking that question?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at page 39. Do you recall giving your deposition on November 20, 2019?
Oh, from down in Anaheim?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And were you under
That's
oath
the
at that
first-
time?
Well, yeah, I
Okay, and
think
that
I believe so,
That
yeah.
was about 2.5 years ago, wasn't it?
2, 3, yeah, like between 2 and 3 years, yeah,
All
sure.
right, so if you could take a look, starting on page 39.
Hang on a second.
And if you go to the line 21, where were you on the evening of May 21, 2016? And your answer was all right. So I was out in the street. I was with a buddy of mine, calls me. He asked if I wanted to go out and eat. And I says, I just ate, just meet me. Let's meet at the apartment. Let's go hang out. So I met him at my apartment, probably, I want to say around 9:30 or a little bit later. I don't know. Yeah, between 9:30 and 10. Do you see that?
So I met him at my apartment, probably I want to say around 9:30 or a little bit later. I don't know, yeah, between 9:30 and 10.
Okay.
And that ends up,
So does that refresh your recollection that it could have been a little bit, somewhere between 9:30 and 10?
I go more with 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, because it could have been 9:20.
Okay,
It
but,
could have been 9:25.
but-
It could have been 9:35, but I go with 9:30.
okay. And did you see any police officers?
No,
Okay. Did you ever hear any police officers?
no.
Okay. So let's go back to this 116 for a second. And you said that you saw a lot of wine right outside of
Wait a
Penthouse.
second, it's line 115?
Sorry. The exhibit that's in front of you on the screen.
Oh.
So you go by Penthouse. Now I have to hurry up to make my promise to Your Honor. So you see Penthouse 1 there, and you said that the wine was in that area, right?
It's in front of the door.
Okay.
It's a little, it's gonna be 1.5 to 2 feet up further north.
North, closer on the way to PH3?
No, it's right in front of the doorway. You have it past the doorway, the blue dot.
Yeah,
It's,
that wasn't
it's
intentional.
just
I can
in
do it.
front of that doorway.
There we go. Okay. Can you put the dot exactly where it was? Okay.
Can I move that though?
And how much wine was there?
It's a puddle
It was a puddle.
of wine.
Could you walk past it without seeing it?
No.
It was, and could you tell a little bit about how much probably had been spilled of the wine? I mean, were we talking like a half a bottle, a bottle?
Looked like, you know, a couple of glasses of wine, making a puddle.
Okay.
Wasn't like a full bottle. It's, you know,
Okay.
that's a bit more.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I do have another exhibit I need to put in, and
Okay.
I think that might take a little bit longer than a couple of minutes.
Well, how
So,
much time are you talking?
well, I can do it as fast as I can,
You
but
can try.
okay,
good.
then can we pick, Heather, can you pick up, well, it's going to be Plaintiff's Exhibit 548. Now, do you have a recollection of Mr. Depp having a volatile relationship with his earlier partner, Vanessa Paradis?
No, but then again, I wasn't, I met her a couple of times. We weren't, our paths weren't crossing at that particular time when they were together.
All right, do you recall Mr. Depp ever referring to a circumstance with her as carnage?
What's the relevance? Or-
We're talking, he's trying to give character testimony here, and I'll tell you what, I'll move to a different
Okay,
one.
all right.
Now, you said that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were, you said that they were always nice to each other?
Yeah.
Do you ever remember Mr. Depp referring to Amber with the term cunt?
Like to her face?
No, to you, calling her a cunt to you.
Maybe in a text,
All right, did he do it more than once in a
oh,
text?
I would have no recollection of that. I mean, he's called me a cunt in a text. So, I mean, it could be, I don't know how many texts. If there's something specific, if you could show me a text, that would be a different story. But I don't, you know, we've had many texts together, many you know.
Okay, let's go to line 57 then, it would be section 57 of the exhibit that I have in front of me. Now, this is a text message between you and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Well, there's 80 million texts on
If you
there.
go down to 50, go to the one that's number 57.
57 from.
Objection, Your
This
Honor.
is from me to him.
I'm sorry.
May I approach?
Okay, sure.
Are you on 57 yet?
57.
Right. And this is to you, correct, from Mr. Depp?
Is that how it's, it says from to 323-445-2400? That used to be my telephone number, so.
That's two, correct?
Oh, okay, I understand, I
right.
understand, yes, yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
And,
That's to me.
all right, and the message he's sending to you, and this is October 18, 2016, is hopefully that
Objection, Your Honor. Exhibit's not in evidence, and she's reading directly from it into the record.
All right.
All right, does this refresh your recollection that Mr. Depp referred to Amber Heard as a cunt, and in fact, cunt's rotting corpse is decomposing?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain the objection if you could rephrase.
I'll ask it differently. Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he, in base terms, hoped that Amber's rotting corpse is decomposing
Objection,
in
Your
the
Honor.
trunk of a Honda Civic?
I'll allow it.
I'm not understanding the question. Say it again?
Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You can answer the question, sir.
Yeah, well, I say, yeah, I'm seeing it here, so obviously, yeah, it was said,
Okay,
it was written.
and then go to 59, please. And when you had to move out of the penthouse to go to Sweetser, do you recall Mr. Depp telling you that this was Amber's fault and referring to her as a cunt?
Can I read this
Yes,
thing
please.
first, so that
Yes,
way I
please.
see what's going on? So now I've just read this and I understand, I remember this exactly, because this is the period of time, I'm moving, and that he's selling the apartments, and there's people who are coming over, I'm still living there, and it would have been better off if I moved out, so that way then the real estate people can look at it and not come in and look at the kind of paintings that I make and all that kind of crap.
But my question
so-
to you is, do you recall Mr. Depp calling Amber Heard a cunt and saying that it was her fault?
Well, it's written there, so yeah, I could see that.
Okay,
It's if, well, I don't, that's not what he says. He says that cunt ruined such a fucking cool life we had for a while. I don't know, that's
and
not.
he says, I can't even look at the building anymore, correct?
Right, I can't even
Right.
look at the
And
building
he's selling
anymore.
it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move the admission of those two limited. Excuse me.
Objection, Your Honor. There are some, it's a significant exhibit. There's definitely some hearsay in there.
I think I'll reserve on that, on the entry of that, okay? And we can discuss it later time, okay? Are you done?
I don't, my co-counsel was saying I should go with
Or, I'm not going to I'm reserving on whether, so are we done with cross?
Yes.
Okay, and redirect briefly?
Um,
We're going to be done with this witness before lunch.
Okay.
There we go.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Baruch, do you recall that Ms. Bredehoff was just asking you some questions about some text messages you received from Mr. Depp?
Yeah.
Do you recall when those text messages were sent?
No, I'd have to look at them again and look at the date.
Could you display it to the witness again, please?
And I believe we looked at lines 59. Excuse me, 57. Do you see the date of when you received that text message?
All right, hang on. October, November. It was the month before. It was the month before I moved out. Okay,
When was that text message sent?
it says 10/18/2016. That's October. That's, I moved out the next month. So in November. So this is from October.
So was that message sent several months after Ms. Heard made claims against Mr. Depp of domestic violence?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yes, of course. This is after this whole fiasco that she started.
And if we look at line 61,
What am I looking? 6.
what's the date on that message?
It's 10/28, October.
We can take that down. Mr. Baruch, Ms. Bredehoff asked you a series of questions about the security video from the Eastern Columbia building that you observed. Do you recall that?
Yeah, the PAL.
When did you understand that footage was from?
I'll sustain it, asked and answered.
Did you have an understanding at the time that you saw that video of when it was from?
I'll sustain the objection.
Ms. Bredehoff also asked you a series of questions about the argument that you overheard between Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp on the phone. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you could hear Ms. Heard's voice on that phone, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall if that was a FaceTime call or if it was just regular speakerphone?
It's just this speakerphone.
And what did you understand her tone to be on that call that you overheard?
I'll allow it if you can answer. It's fine.
Taunting, egging on, almost demeanoring the baby talk.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection as to his answer and I'll strike it.
The whole answer, Your Honor?
The answer, yes.
I believe you testified that Mr. Depp hung up the phone during that conversation. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Did you understand that Mr. Depp was trying to end the argument by hanging up the phone?
His understanding of what Mr. Depp was trying to do.
All right, I'll sustain. That's past speculation.
Your Honor, he heard the phone call and he was there to directly
But
observe.
what Johnny Depp's intention was, I'll sustain the objection.
I know what my intent.
Sir,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, thank you. Wait for the question. Thank you, sir.
What was your understanding of your intent with respect to hanging up the phone on that
Objection, Your Honor.
conversation?
He already asked and answered when he said he hung it up. And so.
It was asked and answered. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Possibly, Your Honor.
There's a silence. Okay, so yes or no, or not for you, not from you?
Yes,
All
yes, for us.
All right, sir, since you're subject to recall, that means that you may be called again to testify at some point. So that means until that time, the rule on witnesses still is in place for you. So you cannot have any outside information or talk to anybody about your testimony here today. And don't look at any information about this on the news, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our afternoon lunch. We'll give you till 2:30 to take care of lunch. Again, no outside information, and please don't discuss this case, okay? All right, thank you. Have a good lunch. All right, so we'll come back at 2:30 then? Is that correct? All right, thank you.
Pure drama in court, pitting Johnny Depp against his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard. Depp came to court for the first day of testimony in the defamation trial promptly on time. Amber looked cool and professional in a crisp gray suit, a wisp of blonde hair framing her face. Depp and his ex have been forbidden by the judge from stopping and taking selfies or signing autographs with any of the fans who have gathered outside the courthouse here in Fairfax, Virginia. That's because the judge says she does not want this case to turn into a, quote, circus. Inside the courtroom, it was like a Hollywood production. Multiple cameras have been set up, offering clear shots of the stars. Amber sat at the defense table. Depp looked the part of a movie star. His hair was highlighted, and on his tattooed fingers, 4 rings. What do you make of their demeanor in court? People are saying online, well, she looks professional. She showed up in a suit. He looks like Johnny Depp, the movie star.
You have to be yourself because the jury can read it. If you're trying to pull something over the jury's eyes, they're going to catch it. They know Johnny Depp, so Johnny Depp's going to be Johnny Depp. They may or may not know Amber Heard, so she can almost create a persona in there. So I think it's a good tack by both of them.
The trial stems from an op-ed piece that Amber wrote for the Washington Post in 2018, in which she did not name Depp, but said, "I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out." Depp's lawyer painted her as a liar, saying she made up the abuse at the height of the Me Too movement to gain publicity for a movie she was starring in at the time.
Today, his name is associated with a lie, a false statement uttered by his former wife, Amber Heard, that falsely cast Mr. Depp as a villain.
The accusation has cost him his legendary career, the lawyer claimed.
Ms. Heard did not use Mr. Depp's name in the op-ed. She didn't have to, because the evidence will show that everyone in Hollywood knew exactly what she was talking about.
When it was Amber Heard's turn, her lawyer portrayed Depp as a drug-addicted abuser.
A cross-country plane flight in May 2014 from Boston to Los Angeles, when he kicked Amber in the back. You'll hear evidence that he had had no food for days, that he had used cocaine, that he had had half a bottle of whiskey.
They also said that Depp's career was already in a free fall and had nothing to do with Amber's op-ed.
The evidence will show that Disney had a dossier on him that had articles from the press, had other information about Mr. Depp, and they didn't have this article at all.
The first witness to take the stand, Depp's sister, Christy, who booked hotel rooms and travel for the couple.
I wanted to make sure that there was an extra room, you know, because it wasn't unusual for them to have an argument. So I wanted to make sure that there was an extra room.
The trial is expected to last 5 weeks.
Both sides did tell this jury that both Johnny will take the stand and Amber Heard will take the stand to tell their side.
Can be proud of. A false allegation can devastate a career. And it can devastate a family. And the evidence will show that Ms. Heard's false allegations had a significant impact on Mr. Depp's family and his ability to work in the profession he loved and loved to bring joy to everyone. Ultimately, this trial is about clearing Mr. Depp's name of a terrible and false allegation. We ask you in the next several weeks to please carefully consider the evidence, assess the reliability and credibility of that evidence, and to make your own determination about what actually happened between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. And to tell you more about that, I am going to turn it over to my colleague, Camille Vasquez, who you had the pleasure of meeting yesterday. Thank you all for your attention.
Ms. Vasquez? You might have to turn it up a little bit. Sure.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. And good morning. Good morning. Over the course of this trial, you're going to have an opportunity to get to know Johnny Depp. Not the characters he's portrayed, but the man himself. You will hear from Mr. Depp directly, but you will also hear from his friends, his family, and employees. You will hear from people who have known him for decades. They have seen him at his best, and they have seen him at his worst. And they will tell you, each of them, that he is a kind soul who has never and would never raise a hand to a woman. You will hear that Mr. Depp learned at a very young age how to coexist with an abusive woman. You will learn from Mr. Depp's sister, Christy, and from Mr. Depp that their mother, Betty Sue, lived in a constant state of anger that would boil over daily in vicious words and violence directed at her husband and their children. And you will hear how Mr. Depp, who had the personality of his father, coped with that abuse in the same way his father did. He just took it. The evidence will show that Mr. Depp learned that the best way to deal with violence was to leave, to get away from it. Give her time to cool down. But he never turned his back on his mother. Mr. Depp loved his mother, and he cared for her until the day she died. You will hear how Mr. Depp came to Los Angeles as a teenager. He first planned to be a musician, then became an actor, and eventually thanks to his talent, his dedication, and a lot of hard work, grew into one of the biggest movie stars in the world. He had relationships with major figures in Hollywood and elsewhere, like Winona Ryder, Kate Moss. And before he met Amber Heard, he was with the same woman, Vanessa Paradis, for 14 years. He had 2 children with her. And even though he was a megastar, they had a quiet domestic life. In fact, you'll hear, as Mr. Chu already told you, that in Mr. Depp's 58 years, not a single woman has ever accused him of violence. And nobody in Hollywood or the world had any reason to believe he was an abuser until Ms. Heard publicly accused him in 2016. You're also going to hear evidence about Ms. Heard. You're going to learn that she's a profoundly troubled person who manipulates the people around her just like she manipulated Mr. Depp. Ms. Heard came to Los Angeles and sought a career in acting after Mr. Depp was well established as a movie star. Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard first met in 2009 on the set of the film The Rum Diaries. There was a significant age difference between them, and at first he avoided her advances, but she pursued him. She wooed him. The evidence will show that Ms. Heard went to great lengths to win him over by playing the doting girlfriend, and it worked. He fell head over heels in love with her. Those who watched this relationship develop saw red flags all over the place. You will hear from them in this trial. And over time, the real Ms. Heard began to emerge. She would berate him, scream at him. He would try to appease her, and sometimes, just sometimes, things would get better. But it would always happen again. The evidence will show that Mr. Depp started coping with Ms. Heard in the same way he did as a child.
Yo, okay, so this wasn't even live right here. Okay. Yo, whatchamacallit? Yeah, I told y'all I was all like, oh, I might fall asleep. Yo, I really did. It won't be too long, chat. Oh yeah. Yo, that was, oh my god. Yo, let me tell you too, like, you know how like when you take a nap and then like you got like the little drool and shit like that. Yeah, that was some good sleep right there. Wait, the judge broke into song and dance too? Sleeping Beauty. Oh, man. Yo! And I promise I'm not on drugs or anything like that. I promise. Because you know that's what they're going to say. Like, oh, he fell asleep. Da 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 da. Yo, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. When did they go on recess? Y'all? How long they been on recess for? Oh, ages ago? Oh, damn. Oh, 10 minutes ago. Okay, 10 minutes ago. Okay. So they're going to be gone for like an hour or something like that? An hour or 45 minutes? Okay, 2:30 Eastern. Okay. What I will do to break this up, 2:30 Eastern. Okay. Okay. 45 minutes. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and end this one, guys. And then I'm going to do a part 2 and create a new stream. And then I'll I already took a little nap, so I'll be able to stay up. So don't worry. Yeah, I'm gonna create a new stream. The defense asked the guy, is Johnny ever called her a ooh? And yeah, he said me one. Yeah, he's called me one too. Oh my god. Okay, I missed that part. Okay, I missed that part right there. That's when I was sleeping and drooling all over the place. Oh, that is crazy. Okay, I gotta go back and watch that part too. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna create a new live stream for the break, and then that way I can go ahead and break this up, and it'll help with the algorithm too as well. All right, y'all, I'll be back. Love y'all.